Yeah, no, like I had to sit her down. I'm like, I'm not trying to poison you. I am not trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm not going to give you bad food intentionally, right?
Hmm.
I just need you to eat it. When you act like you're going to vomit just by looking at it, it's insulting to me, right? I worked hard to make this meal. Give me a break.
Oh man, yeah. My kids, my daughter, she'll eat anything. You put it in front of her face,
You're
she's eating
lucky.
it. She's eating it. My son, he'll eat it reluctantly. He won't like it.
Mm.
And he'll tell you he didn't like it, but he knows he's got to eat it.
that's it. That's my
So
problem.
he's
I have acquiesced for so long. Like, oh, fine, just have chicken nuggets. That it's like conditioned within the children that if they don't want what's for dinner, they can just have whatever else. When I was a kid, it was like dinner was on the table. If you ate it, you ate it. If you didn't, you're going hungry.
you just yeah, that's what it is. That's
Mm-hmm.
what it is. I always find it funny how they're they get full very fast when it's food.
Mm-hmm.
But let someone say there's ice cream
Oh yeah.
after. Oh, they'll find room for the ice
Oh yeah.
cream.
Always.
Or they'll eat just a little bit of the food so they can get a snack after. We're like, no, 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 no. There's no snacks if you didn't. You get it.
Yeah.
I'd rather you get a second plate of food
Mm-hmm.
than get a snack
Yes.
afterwards. so,
Get
so
dinner.
yeah,
Get multiple helpings of dinner.
multiple helpings. They're there. You're never gonna hear me tell you no unless you eat all the food. Because now the kids are getting older. They eat a lot.
Oh.
They eat a lot. The other day, Julian left me one shrimp in a shrimp scampi, and I was pissed. I hadn't got anything to eat, and I was like, "One shrimp? You left me one shrimp?"
Yeah.
I was because when he finds something he does like to eat, he'll eat till there's nothing left. He
Yeah.
with no regard for anybody else. Oh, I was pissed. Oh,
He left me one strip. Yeah, that's upsetting right there.
yeah. But yeah, my daughter, she'll just keep eating. She just like to eat. She's very healthy in that regard.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Like Hadley when she was very little would eat anything you put in front of her. And she's just like, and then there was a point where like all of a sudden she wouldn't. And I'm like, why aren't you eating the stuff that you just ate yesterday?
Mhm.
And then now she's getting back to the point where she's willing to try things, uh, like different stuff, So
It
that's
the
good.
what Jordan doesn't like is some of the crazy stuff to me. She doesn't like mashed potatoes.
I don't think
French
I've had mashed
fries?
potatoes. Yeah.
French fries?
Yes.
Baked potato?
Oh.
Fine. You mash it up. Don't doesn't like it. She just doesn't like mashed potatoes from anybody, from any kind. She doesn't like that. I'm like, what? But all the potatoes, fine. French fries, and like I said, a baked potato, she'll tear a baked potato up. She doesn't like mashed potatoes.
Man, so I can make a potato smorgasbord, right? I can make baked potatoes. I can make fried potatoes, like cut up with the little circles and fry them up with onions and
Oh,
peppers, like
yeah, that's
with bacon
breakfast.
fat. Oh man,
Oh,
that's good, right?
oh, that's
Get
delicious.
them hash browns. I can get them like the little red potatoes and like season them and
Hmm.
bake those things. I can make smashed potatoes where I boil the potatoes and smash them and then fry them, and then and French fries and mashed potatoes. They will eat none of the other and the potato chips. They'll eat potato chips. They'll eat French fries. They won't eat the other stuff. I'm like, this is literally identical food. It's the
Yes.
same food. It's
Hmm.
different.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
But yeah, my daughter had a doctor's appointment. She's in the 96th percentile with height.
Wow. How tall is
Yeah.
she?
5'3",
Wow. And she's in what grade? Fifth?
11 years old, 6 years old, sixth grade,
Sixth grade,
uh,
5'3". Wow.
105 pounds,
So she's a rail
107.
too.
She's not.
No?
She's thick. She's solid.
Oh, really? So
her
5'3",
brother,
yeah.
her brother is 5'5", 95 pounds.
Oh, he's a rail.
He's real thin. Yes. But yeah, she's in the 96th percentile of height.
Wow.
So, but
She,
she's a solid one. Yeah.
she thinks
She
she's gonna
got
keep growing and be tall.
5'8", 5'9", possibly taller,
Wow.
possibly. Yeah, she should. I've been trying to get into volleyball. She won't listen.
No.
She won't do it.
Yeah. Well.
I think she's starting to feel like get a little bit more athletic. Sixth grade taking gym has gotten her like she was talking about it. They do a mile Monday. Every Monday they have to run a mile.
Mm-hmm.
She ran the first mile Monday they had. She ran a 17-minute mile. I was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said that to her. She ran it yesterday and was at 12:17.
Okay.
It was like I just took off like from start of the year to yesterday. She's taken off 5 minutes of her time, and now she continues to take time off. But she was like, I only took 17 seconds off my time. I was like, no, no. Now you're starting to. You're only going to be taking minutes. You're not going to take minutes off. You're only going to be taking seconds off at this point
Mm-hmm.
in time. But she's starting to get better and more athletic now, and I like it. They
Well,
do
that's
push-ups
cool.
on Wednesdays too. So she's like, oh God, workout Wednesdays and mile Mondays. She's not a fan of
I say
those.
mile Monday, like 17 minutes.
That's a walking
That's a
pace
walking
for.
pace. Yeah, yeah.
That's a walking pace. That's why I was like, but 12. That's
That's
a
getting
nice
there.
pace.
Yeah,
That's a nice pace. So
yeah.
like, okay,
Especially, well, she's 5'3". She still has short legs, but
yeah,
they're longer. Like
yeah.
Hadley's 12, and she's 4'9" almost.
Mm-hmm.
So she's short.
Yeah.
She's like the 4 percentile in height, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's short, uh, and so like when she's like, yeah, everybody runs so much faster than I do. I'm like, that's because they have legs that are 3-4 inches longer than yours, right? They have longer
And it
strides.
matters.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
it
matter.
matters. They take less steps to get for the same distance.
Yeah, but she's still like on the softball team. She's one of the quicker kids, so I'm like, okay, good, right? Because she appreciates softball because you only have to run hard for like
90 feet.
60 feet at a time,
Yeah. Oh yeah,
right?
softball.
Maybe
Yeah.
120 if you get a good hit, or maybe 270 if something happens, right?
Yeah.
But like she'll run hard, and like her favorite thing to do is when we go to the White Sox or Brewers games, we'll go on Sundays, and the kids can run the bases afterwards, and
Mm-hmm.
like that's her jam. She's like, I'm gonna try to outbeat everybody on the bases. So I'm like, all right, you do it, and she runs
Okay.
hard, man. It's like she takes it seriously.
That's
I,
great.
I think she would be into cross country, maybe, but I think it's the extended running that would get her. like like
That's
the idea of cross country might appeal to her, but I don't know if she would last very long with it. But maybe.
yeah. Yeah, Julian wants to do track in the fall in the summer, well,
Hmm.
summer semester, so winter semester. So we'll see.
Oh, that's right. You can do like outdoor sports year round, can't you?
Yeah, track and field starts in January. So he's doing band at the beginning, track and field in the end.
So this last week, Penelope was in a future cheerleaders clinic or something like that. So she's in second grade. She went to this cheerleading clinic. So then she got to perform at the halftime at the varsity football game on this last Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to this game. Oh, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. What I forgot how bad watching
High school football
high
could
school
be.
football is, but the local high school is one of them is mediocre at best, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I asked Hadley, I'm like, is this team pretty good? She's like, yeah, they're supposed to be pretty good. Like, they were 3-0 coming into the game or something like that. They played a team that they walked out there and like, oh, that's a varsity football team. Like everybody was taller than the other team. Like so, like our team was short, right? Like they had like one big kid. And he stood on the sidelines the whole time, so I guess he wasn't even like a starter. Like this team was good. I was like, I almost wanted to write down names so I could keep track of who they were. It's like, oh man, that kid's fast and he's good. And they ended up losing 42-0. So
So the 3-0 team lost
yep,
42-0.
yep.
Ooh.
They got run over. But I was there, and like, there was a lot of people there, but mostly because of this cheerleading thing. So there was like
Uh-huh.
these 20, 30 kids out there, and then so they all had two parents there and grandparents, and then they could leave at halftime. So I guarantee the bleachers emptied out at halftime. But I was telling Hattie, I'm like, this is like 1/100th of a high school football game in Texas.
They're big.
Yeah, I was just like,
They're
what? I'm
big.
like, yeah, this is nothing. Like it's like another like professional sport almost, but it's high school football. Like it's so big they made movies and TVs about the concept of Texas high school football.
Yeah, I'm starting to notice, and my son just goes in. He performs at halftime.
Yeah,
and I leave
Hmm.
after they're done.
It's so huge. But we were talking about it, and I'm like, it's tough because those southern states, they get to play outdoor sports year round, right? So like
Mhm.
things like baseball and
Baseball.
softball and football, like they can play in December and outdoors. It doesn't matter, right?
And what's crazy is that some of these teams make so much money during high school. They have an indoor facility as well as an outdoor facility. You
Yes.
go, why do you need an indoor facility when you can
Yeah.
play outside all year long? Because we can.
Yes.
Because we can.
Yeah. Haley just went to her first indoor practice today for softball, and their facility is not. There's not like a full baseball diamond in there. It's just like they have like 1/5 of some commercial building, right? So
Mhm.
like a warehouse basically that they have
Yeah.
turf down in and stuff like that. But like there's places here that like full ball diamonds indoors and stuff because they
You would
have to
have
be
to over there.
indoors here.
You would have to. You would have to. It's
Yes.
gonna snow in a couple of days. So there probably.
Yeah, September 24th. It's gonna be we're in the 60s now until it gets to the 40s, then the 20s, then the zeros.
It was 100 degrees last weekend.
Man, I don't envy that at all.
Not very good. And we don't know when. So be in the high 80s, low 90s this weekend. It's just what it is. It's 90 until it's 70. Just the
Hmm.
80 doesn't live around here. That that temperature that everyone loves.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
we don't get
perfect.
it.
Yeah,
We don't get it.
yep. I wish I could just be like 72, sunny,
Oh,
light breeze every day. That'd be great.
yeah. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, you know what I'm envious of too?
What was that?
Your team won a football game this weekend.
Listen, it was the first one. They got me to wear clothes again. Because
Yeah.
listen, last time we did this, I was fed up. I
Yeah,
was tired. I was
yeah,
tired of what was going on.
for
I
sure.
saw I saw improvement, but didn't get us to win. It didn't get us to win. But we got the win this week. I thought it was a solid win as well. I thought it was a solid win.
They're a
But
playoff team last year for sure.
yeah, yeah. I thought, like I said, I think that the Giants played well. They had a good. Now they started off like I've seen people say the game started off like this. All right, Giants lose the coin toss. The what's the name? Bears like not Bears. Browns like we'll kick it off. They kick it off to Eric Gray. Eric Gray takes a few steps. He gets hit, fumbles the ball. Ball picked up by the Browns. First and 10 on the 15, something like that.
Hmm.
The next play, Amari Cooper, 15-yard touchdown on the like. I was like, oh, the time on the clock is now 14 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're already down 7-0.
Yeah,
This is going to be bad, right?
yeah.
But they come down field. I think they I think they score a touchdown on that drive. Or if they don't score a touchdown, yeah, I'm pretty sure they scored a touchdown on that drive. Got it 7-7 quick, so we're like, all right, whew, we can start all over again. Right? Game is zero
Hmm.
zero. The Giants defense did something that they definitely didn't do in the first game against the Vikings, did more of it the second game against Washington, but really was able to hammer it home because Deshaun Watson is not as good as he used to be.
No.
It's just you can clearly see it. Like
Hmm.
so, the Giants just sent pressure after him the entire first and second quarter,
Hmm.
like blitzes from different angles. They could not contain they couldn't contain Dexter Lawrence. I think he had 2 sacks, like 4 pressures, a tackle for loss, 5 tackles. He was all over the field. They could not stop him.
Hmm.
But they also sent cornerbacks, linebackers, safeties. They dropped Burns back in coverage one time. He almost had a pick. The blitz was coming from different angles. The Giants defense looked like a good defense.
Hmm.
For the second week in a row, they put up over 5 sacks. They sacked the quarterback more than 5 times. This time the tackling was a lot better. The Browns just don't look good.
Hmm.
And I don't know if that's if my team looked good. I don't know, or the Browns just didn't look good. They were at home. They had the brownie on the field. They had the
Oh, that little elf is bad luck, I think.
yeah, they had him on the field. I seen him. I was like, Derek said something about him last time.
Yeah, he's a little elf. He looks bad. It's
I like it. I like it.
yeah, it's fun in a whimsical, cute way, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
scream
It does scream
football when
football. It
no
does not. It does
no.
not. So, so yeah, Daniel Jones played better. I don't think I can say enough about Malik Neighbors. The Giants went for it on 4th and 1, and they gave him a little like wide receiver reverse. He was able to fight for the 1 yard to get the first down, which then led to another touchdown. I think was his first touchdown of the game. Did you see his first touchdown?
Is that the crazy toe tap falling out of bounds
Oh my
touchdown?
God.
That is
Yes.
that is one of the sickest catches I've ever seen. It wasn't a particularly
Body
good
control.
throw. The
So
the body control was bonkers. And the fact like I was watching it and I had to freeze frame to see if his toe touched before his hand touched. And
yeah.
it had to be like a microsecond, right? This is one of those things where it's like I hate instant replay for this, where they can break it down to like the millisecond to
Hmm.
see like something like that is like if it's called a touchdown in live, like it's a touchdown. If it's called
Yeah.
incomplete, well, it's incomplete. It's just got to be. There's no way you can overturn it. You can no way you can confirm that. It
That
just
gives that just gives credit to the refs for seeing a touchdown on the
yes.
field, and because I wouldn't have been able to
No,
tell
I couldn't.
unless
I couldn't tell it live.
live.
It's hard enough to watch. This you cannot physically watch his toe and his hand at the same time.
You can't.
No.
So I give the refs some credit,
Yeah.
but they asked Malik Neighbors about that catch in the locker room. And his response wasn't great for Daniel Jones, right? He goes, I saw where the ball was going, and I went, ugh. That was his exact quote. I saw where the ball was going, and I said, ugh, and I just went and got it.
Yeah.
That's what he said. I was like,
That dude can catch, man.
he
Yeah.
can catch.
He's super good. He gets
Yeah.
open, he can catch. I like and I just think it's going to be your issue with the Giants all year. I just don't think the offense
I
is
hope that the
going to
offense,
click the way you need it to click to be consistently good.
I'll tell you, and this is what I said in our trap. In order for the Giants offense to take that next step,
Mhm.
they need a deep ball.
Mhm.
Like there's too many things that can happen on a 19 play drive, on a 10 play drive, like what's been happening.
Yeah.
Giants are marching the ball downfield. Devin Singletary has fumbled the last 2 weeks on long drives,
Yeah.
right?
That's killing.
And like really just let the when the team only has to play you short because they don't have any fear of you going over the top of them, it just changes things. I've watched 3 or 4 plays where the wide receiver has got the guy beat deep and Daniel Jones just can't get the ball to him.
Mhm.
And he's overthrowing it. I'm guessing because he doesn't want to underthrow it.
Mhm.
It's just, I don't know. He used to be fairly accurate deep ball thrower.
Mhm.
And it's like the last 2 years, I don't know if it's a confidence thing. I don't know if he's afraid to just kind of plant his feet in the pocket because he's been getting sacked the last couple of years. I don't know what it is, but he's overselling the ball on these deep throws and they just don't look good. I think if the Giants can get 1 or 2 of those deep balls, it would help a whole lot
It
with everything.
definitely changes the game, right? If
Yes.
you can stretch the field at will, or at least
Yeah.
the threat
Or
of
at least
stretching the
the
field.
threat of threat. That's really what I want. The threat of stretching the field,
Yeah.
right? And I think if we had 1 or 2 of those plays, or teams would sit there and go, "Okay, we have to worry about the deep pass occasionally," it would change it up. Because honestly, I don't dislike our offense the way I'm seeing it run by Dayball versus Kafka.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't gone the last couple of days and said I don't like the game plan going into the game.
Mm.
That's not been something I've said. I thought they've had problems executing,
Mm-hmm.
but the play call hasn't looked bad. The like it seems like they run when they should run, they pass when they should pass.
Yep.
They've been doing the things that you would hope that they do, and they're getting chunk yards. They realize they don't abandon the run too fast. They don't just start every play, run, throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like they don't get to that. They seem like they have a balanced offense, and if Devin Singletary gives me 3 yards, he gives me 3 yards. That's it.
It also helped that they went up at half. They were up 21-7 at half, right?
21-7 at half definitely helped.
And then they ended up winning 21-15, right? So they didn't
Yep.
do anything in the second half other than eat clock.
Yes.
And
One of those fumbles came in the second half.
and
The
then
fumble, the Devin Singletary fumble came in the second half.
yeah.
And they did eat clock. Uh I think I think the new kicker missed a field goal
Mm,
in the second half. So he might not be there next week. Because we just got him off of another team
doing the revolving
because
door kicker until you find one.
until we find one that we like. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
I,
tough. Who did you have out there? You had
I don't even know his name.
Greg Joseph.
Yeah.
0 for 1 on field goal, 3 for 3 on extra points.
Mhm.
Right? At
He
least you got
missed the
those. At least you got those extra points, right?
yeah,
Last week you didn't. 2 weeks ago you didn't get those,
and
right?
I think had it come down to field goals, we would have given him an opportunity to make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not like the game before where we didn't trust anyone to kick a field
Yeah.
goal. If it would have came down to a 40-yard field goal to kick to win the game, they would have put the ball in and let him kick because he's a professional. That's what his job
That's
is.
his job. Yeah.
We didn't have another guy whose job is to do that. So, but yeah, no, I thought the Giants played well on offense. I was surprised on defense. I think it might have just been, and this is another thing I wanted to say. So I've seen our first two games, the opponents we played the first 2 weeks.
hmm
Are they better than we thought? And does that change the look or the way the Giants are perceived nationally? Because the Vikings are 3-0
The Vikings are tough, man.
and they beat us bad.
Yes.
The Washington is 2-1 and we lost because our field goal kicker got injured first play of the game.
Yeah.
So those are two, as we people are saying, good teams right now.
hmm
And we played one of them to where we should have won the game.
Yeah.
So does that make our losses look better, or are we still? Because now I'm like, are we a decent team? Can we compete?
Maybe.
And that's where I think Thursday is really gonna do a test for me, for my eye test. Because I thought the Giants was going preseason was going to be able to beat the Vikings with Darnold. Like I marked it down as a win.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what. I marked down anything against the Vikings as a win this year. I'm just like they're in shambles. They're just
Yes.
they're in like a soft rebuild. They're in shambles, and Sam Darnold is so because I unfortunately live in southeast Wisconsin. I didn't get to watch the Bears game this week, right? Because because the Packers were on, and even though they were on CBS, they won't even. And I think I'm less than like 80 miles from Chicago, so like it's a different. Like they won't broadcast it when the Packers are playing. So I got stuck watching live the Vikings and the 40 was it the 49ers this weekend? Or no, Vikings and the
No,
Texans.
49ers played the Rams. Yeah,
Vikings and the
Texans.
Texans. God damn, the Vikings look good, and I hate to say that. They looked just solid, and Sam Darnold looked like a quality quarterback. They have
Good. I'm glad because when they played the Giants, I was like, "Are we bad?" But okay, they're good. All right.
no, they humbled the Texans this weekend. Man, they just look good. Aaron Jones looked good. Man, running the ball. Sam Darnold he has all the time in the world in the pocket,
He's comfortable.
and he's got Justin Jefferson.
Who gets open?
And I saw Justin Jefferson have 2 drops in this game. And I don't
Yeah.
think that man's ever dropped a pass prior to this. Like he had 2 in 1 week, and I was like, "What is going on? He must have the flu or something." But they just dismantled the Texans,
They did.
34-7.
It was
Stroud looked bad, and like all week I was
Their
like, "Man,
defense.
yeah, their defense, like Brian Flores has them coming in all sorts of like exotic packages and just confusing everybody. They just look really good, and I'm afraid of the Vikings, and it makes me angry. It makes me very, very angry.
Yeah, they did, but now, like I said, I don't know. I don't know. I thought two teams that preseason, I thought the Giants was going to be winnable. We would win both those games.
Yeah.
I thought the tough part of our schedule was now. I thought the Browns might have been a loss. I thought well, of course, the Cowboys, but now I'm definitely picking the Giants. But the teams
You
that I
weren't gonna
thought were
not
going
pick
to
the
be,
Giants.
I was not gonna pick the Giants. And listen, but whether I think they're going to win, I
Yes.
don't know. But what I
Yes.
was going to pick, I was never going to pick the Cowboys.
Yes.
But like I said, I think I was telling people, I think Dak Prescott all time record against the Giants is like 8-1.
Yeah.
So I don't have too much confidence.
That's gonna
But
be tough. I'm gonna tell you
yeah.
what. I think so. Last week after the Giants lost to the Washingtons, I don't like the word name Commanders. I preferred the football team.
Football team, I like it. I
Yeah.
thought it was not bad.
Some reporter asked Dayball if he was worried about his job. Did you see this? Like, are you concerned about your job? And Dayball just stared him down.
Yeah.
Stared at him, answered the question. It's like, why are you asking that? Took the next question, still stared at the dude, and then walked out staring at the dude. Right? So I'm like, I
You
don't
don't hate. You don't like Dave Ball.
it's not Dayball. Like no. So like it was the incorrect question to
It
make
was a
it
bad
that tough. It's a
question.
bad
Yeah.
question. His
Hmm.
job, he's not on the hot seat. I think even let's say the Giants go 1-16, he might be on the hot seat.
Might be. Yeah.
Might be. I don't think he's anywhere near the hot seat. I think he's a good coach. I just think he's an a-hole. That's all. I
That's
think he's a
possible.
good coach, and coaching matters in football. Look at the
It
Vikings.
does.
Coaching, Kevin O'Connell is a good head coach. They have Brian Flores. He's a good defensive coordinator. They have, what has been like I read somebody say this week the only team that hasn't liked Sam Darnold is the Jets. Like everywhere Sam Darnold goes, people like him, right?
Hmm.
They got him. He comes in. He is playing professional football, and he looks good out there. I'm like, okay, you got the goddamn Green Bay Packers, right? Who shouldn't
Yeah.
be 2-1, but are 2-1 because Matt LaFleur is an insanely good head coach and offensive coordinator. He's got Malik Willis looking like a professional quarterback while Jordan Love rests his knee.
Hmm.
You got the Detroit Lions. Say what you will about Dan Campbell. Yes, he's going to Dan Campbell things up.
He's gonna
But the
Dan
dude
Campbell
is a good head coach.
He's a good coach.
That team will run through several brick walls for that man. When he screws up, they're just like, that's the way it goes. And they run through a brick wall to defend him, right? Like, he is a good head coach. And that's
Mhm.
why watching the Bears is so goddamn frustrating. Because Matt Eberflus, I don't think is a good head coach. He might be I think he's a fantastic defensive coordinator.
Hmm.
He is not a good head coach. Like he might be very likable, he might be an affable individual. People might like buy into his philosophy, but the way he runs a football game is laughable at best. Laughable at best. He throws challenges when clearly watching the replay is not a challenge worthy play. He there are several things. There are several reasons why the Bears lost this game this weekend.
Hmm.
It's not because the Colts were good. The Colts were
They're not.
visibly bad. Anthony
Mhm.
Richardson is questionable when it comes to are you a professional quarterback? Right?
He throws the ball really hard.
He does.
Really hard.
He
He
does.
doesn't know how to. He doesn't know how to take anything off it either.
No, he has no touch or accuracy. He was 50% this week at least. He 10-20, 167 yards, 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. One of those interceptions was in the end zone. From like the 5, right? Like just threw it right to a linebacker. Like Tremaine Edmonds wasn't even moving. It just like came right to him. He's like, all right.
I guess
So
I'll take this one.
the Bears didn't lose this week because of Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams played. I have some theories. The Bears lost this game because of 2 specific sequences. One is they got the ball first and goal from the Indianapolis 4-yard line, closing out the first half. They finally they put together a drive. Caleb got up down there. From there, play number 1, direct snap to Khalil Herbert from the shotgun for 1 yard up the middle. Next play from the shotgun, handoff to Khalil Herbert up the middle for 1 yard. Next play from the shotgun, handoff to Khalil Herbert running up the middle. Why are we running from the shotgun? Running from the shotgun, especially when you only need to get like a yard, is dumb, right? So we get down to the 1, and then we have 4th and goal from the 1, and they go for it. Fine, I'm all for it because the Colts were not going to move the ball off of the one, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have to because from the shotgun, they call an option play, a speed option to the left side, where every offensive lineman was immediately run over, and DeAndre Swift lost 12 flipping yards on the play. We didn't.
It's on a play that's meme worthy now.
Oh yeah, because every offensive lineman was laying down in various, like if you took him, it'd almost be like a flip book, because like you could take one sitting down, one leaning forward, one on his back. Like it looks like like animation frames, right? They're just all in various states of falling on their asses. Terrible. So that right there is, I think that lost the game right there. They go into the half scoring no points. They missed a field goal earlier in the first. Their offensive scheme was abysmal. They tried to run the ball with DeAndre Swift constantly. He had 13 carries for 20 yards. Then, in the second half, after Caleb had already dropped back to pass like 40 flipping times in the game, in the fourth quarter, they get the ball off a punt. It's like 1st and 10 from their own 18. They have Cole Kmet trying to block the defensive end on the left side for some reason. And Laiatu Latu, the rookie from UCLA, just runs over Cole Kmet and strip sacks. Just runs him over. Runs right past him. I don't know if he was even slowed down any, right? Like, you know how, like, you see those drills when they're like running through the pool noodles? And you're like, that can't slow him down any. But maybe it slows him down like a fraction of a second. That's what Cole Kmet was. He was a pool noodle, and he got run over, strip sack. And then the Colts, who couldn't really move the ball at all prior to that, only had a 10-yard field to score. And, of course, they scored, right? Like, most teams, when only given 10 yards to make it for a touchdown, usually make it. And those are the two plays that lost it for the Bears right there. They're running. I have a theory.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like tinfoil. I'm putting on the tinfoil hat for this one. They went in to the beginning of their schedule knowing that there's no conference opponents until the back half of the schedule. Knowing that we got the Titans and we got the Colts and we got the Jags and we got a handful of teams that are beatable on paper. This is and it's really just an excuse for how bad their offensive scheme is. We're going to make Caleb. We're just going to, like, baptism by fire. We're going to make him throw when he shouldn't even be throwing, because we want him to expose him to as many throwing possibilities as we possibly can. Even though you only be throwing 52 times in a game. Like, it makes no sense. They shouldn't have been throwing so much, but they couldn't run the ball. They don't do anything from under the center. You know when they do go under center? When they do play action. So every snap is from the shotgun and their handoffs. Then they go under center and it's a play action. And for some reason it works. I don't understand. Who's buying this? They should know it's coming. Like, they don't do anything under center. It's insane. But I think they're just like, all right, we're going to give Caleb as many throwing reps as humanly possible.
They say it takes 300 to get it down pat. Let's give him 300 in the first 5 weeks.
We're going to do as many as possible. We're going to give him a season's worth of throwing reps through the first 8 weeks just to get him ready. And, like, that's the only explanation I can think of that fits why they're doing what they're doing, because it makes no sense. Makes no sense.
I will say he's developing timing with Rome Odunze.
Caleb, okay, so Caleb had 3 turnovers in this game. One was just a rookie throw, right? Drop back, saw a dude on the left flat. It's like, okie doke, here it comes. And it was picked up. He's lucky it wasn't a pick 6, because the dude was coming at an angle and he ended up stepping out of bounds as soon as he caught it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So there was one pick. The other pick was everything that I've seen. PFF even ruled it as a non-turnover worthy play. It bounced off of Dunze's hands. It was a throw into a tight window, and Dunze bounced off his hands and was picked off. And then the strip sack, which, like, I don't know if there's a quarterback alive that would not have
dropped that ball with
dropped that ball, because it was just an molested bull rush from the blind side. Like he was not stopped. Right, so he had 3 turnovers, and those are the things that kill me because those are the negative plays. That turnover was in the fourth quarter. I'm like, oh my god, this is the Justin Fields scenario we used to get last year constantly, fourth quarter turnovers. But then he marches down. They got 2 scoring drives in the fourth quarter.
That Hail Mary throw
The Hail Mary throw at the end of the
at the end of the first half
first half, down to
was
the
big.
down to the
Yeah,
bounced
to
out
the
of the end
one.
zone. DJ Moore caught
Yep.
the one and just got stonewalled there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if you take away the Hail Mary, 44 yards, he still threw for 320 yards
300.
passing and
Oh,
two
yeah, it was a
touchdowns.
solid.
Yeah.
It was solid when he needed to throw the ball, but when he threw the ball 42 times, that's a lot. I don't like it. I don't
52
like it.
times. Yeah, no, I agree.
He
52.
didn't throw 50. He
Yes,
threw
he threw the
52
ball.
times.
He dropped back to pass 56 times.
Well, without the sacks and
Four,
stuff.
four
Like,
sacks, and within 33 of 52.
that's a
Had a
lot.
really nice. And here, let me pull it up. I have his pass chart here. Let me see if I can find it. I've liked so many damn posts this last week that are all complaining about the same stuff as me. Oh, I have to show you this one too. So it's been memeified. This is the first one I saw. It made me laugh. Put them all out in there. All of the Bears' offensive linemen going down a water slide together. But let me find that passing chart. And it is a professional quarterback passing chart, and I don't want to be like, I'm not going to hang my hat on where the dots that are on the field, but oh God, I can't find it. 52 passes spread out all across the field, the middle of the field, the left side, the right side, very minimal screens. I'm like, he's reading the field. They're letting him audible out of plays. They're letting him read the defense, call the coverages. The problem is, the offensive line can't block crap for some reason. Like they were okay last year, right?
Mhm.
They're markedly worse this year. Now, I want to say something. When Eberflus was hired, he brought along his buddy from the Indianapolis Colts to be the offensive line coordinator.
Mhm.
Guess which coordinator was not fired last year from the offensive side?
His
His buddy from the Colts, the offensive line coordinator. The common denominator so far right now is Eberflus and this offensive line coordinator.
Mm.
For me, you know where I stood last year in Eberflus. I wanted him gone.
He's done nothing to change that.
He's done nothing to change that. He might be the nicest guy on the face of the earth. He might be some super smart football head. He just is not a head coach. He's not a head coach.
Like the dude from who coached the Broncos that one year, Rogers guy.
Oh yeah. What is his name?
He only lasted 1 year.
Didn't even last the whole year. Did he last? I think he got fired like halfway through the first year, didn't he?
Really?
What is his Cunningham?
Was it?
Hackett.
No.
No.
Hackett.
Nathaniel
Nathaniel Hackett. Yep,
Yeah.
that's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Apparently, he's a good offensive mind. Just doesn't
When
work.
he has Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Some people just may not. I know we think it's the next step,
Yeah.
but some people may not have it.
No.
Like Steve Spagnuolo tried.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to go with the Rams and he stunk and he went back to DC.
Mhm.
He probably could get a head coaching job again, but
Yep.
he's like, I think I'm gonna ride this DC thing till the wheels fall off in Kansas City.
Yeah. And why wouldn't he, man? Like, he just wins Super Bowls there. Like, why would you not want to just win Super Bowls? And and
Handle one side, the side of the ball that you're most familiar with.
and he's good at it. And they have good talent too. And he gets the most out of his talent. The Kansas City defense is always good. But like, I just don't get it. I don't get Eberflus. I don't care if Eberflus has a beard. I don't care if he's clean shaven. He might be the nicest guy on the face of the earth. He might be a great person to talk football to. He is just not a head coach. And even going into Hard Knocks, I said the same thing. I was worried because he's not like a head coach, right? He says weird shit. And like, he does not, they edited him down so much to just like sound bites, right? Little clips that they would throw in. He's not a head coach. We need a head coach. I hope Sean McVay is available for trade. Give up some picks. I don't care. I don't think he wants to be at the Rams anymore because they're facing rebuild and a half. I think Stafford's
Mhm.
probably going to retire after this year, maybe next. And they just,
And then they got to find if they. I think if they can get him a quarterback that he's happy with,
yeah.
he might stay. But if not, because they still have talent.
Oh yeah.
They've got a young Kyron Williams. They Cup is steadily injured every year,
Yeah.
but they've got a young Puka.
Yeah.
Like I think if they give him, he knows that Stafford's time is coming
Mm-hmm.
to an end. They have to find his replacement that he like a project that he says I could work with that guy and to get him to stay.
And that guy's Caleb. And that's why he wants to go to the Bears.
But
I I
he's in
want
LA
him.
right now,
I
sir.
I understand it's hard to move.
That's
It's
hard to
hard to
get
move
out
from
of
LA
LA.
to Chicago. But I want that. I want him. I want a good goddamn head coach. I don't think the Bears have ever had a good head coach.
Yeah, Mike Ditka.
They had Lovey Smith. I think Lovey Smith is their best head coach ever had. Mike Ditka was not a good head coach. Mike Ditka was a personality.
He's a personality.
He was not. A head,
And you and I probably could have coached that defense.
well, he didn't have to
and
coach because
offense
Buddy
probably.
Ryan coached it. Like Buddy
Yeah.
Ryan and Mike Ditka got in fistfights on the sidelines. Buddy Ryan is the reason the Bears won. Buddy Ryan and Walter Payton are the reason, and that offensive line are the reason they won the Super Bowl. Right? Like they got the Super Bowl and then won. That defense was so insane.
Listen, what's name is available?
Who?
He might be available.
Who?
Old Bill Belichick.
I don't want him.
Okay,
All
right.
Well,
That's a good head coach.
hell yeah, it is. But
He's not the coach you
I-
want
I-
for the style that you want because you know what style you're going to get
Yeah.
when you get
and I
him.
don't think. I think he's too much of a strong will to work with Ryan Poles.
Okay.
And he was already, because now Bill Belichick is on all the TV shows, so he does nothing but talk.
Mhm.
I think it was on the Manning cast, and he's like, I don't like the way Ryan Poles has built this team. Okay, great. Or maybe it was like NFL This Week or whatever he's on. So it's just like, okay, all right. Yeah, so maybe it's not Belichick. There's got to be some, and it doesn't have to be a retread. It doesn't have to be somebody named Kubiak. I don't care. Like,
They're going to be Cliff Kingsbury might get another opportunity the way
I don't-
Jaden Daniels is
I
going.
don't want him either.
He's been shown that he could take a young quarterback and turn him into
Oh, I'll
something.
tell you, man, Jaden had a great day, and maybe it's Cliff
A
Kingsbury.
professional day. Like
That's more than a
That's-
professional day. He had a
Yeah, that
great
was
day. And so now that's another thing, right? It has come down to this, and it's got to be any sort of Bears talk that exists in the world is engagement bait. It's nothing more than engagement bait. Even from Chicago Sports Radio, the morning drive Chicago Sports Radio posted today, did the Bears choose the right quarterback after
I
Jaden
knew that
Daniels?
was going to happen.
Like, how can you even?
I
It's
knew
been
that was-
the dude threw
Okay.
for 363 yards, more than any Bears rookie has ever thrown, more than Justin Fields has ever threw is for the Bears, right? Like, how can you even?
Once
like,
it-
we're 3 games in. We're 3 games in.
Once again, like you said, coaching matters.
Yes.
The talent, Caleb is probably a more talented player. Talent wise, he probably is. But Cliff Kingsbury is the coach, and he's not the coach, he's the offensive coordinator.
Offensive
And
coordinator.
they have Dan Quinn, who players love Dan Quinn.
Bears love Dan Quinn. Yeah.
So, like you said, coaching matters. And I think it's difficult to sit there and say who's better. It's not like Stroud and Bryce Young
Oh.
when it was, you can clearly see that Stroud is better than Bryce Young
Like out of the gate, like Stroud, like
out of the gate.
in-
That you
instantly-
can see.
instantly
Oh.
got.
Oops,
like,
bad
it
pick.
took him like 3-4 weeks, and it's like, all right, I get NFL football, touchdown, 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 450.
And you're looking over there,
450.
and you're looking over there in Carolina, and you're like, maybe he'll get it in year 2 or 3. Like
Maybe,
that's the
yeah.
difference, right? That difference isn't that noticeable between Jaden Daniels and Caleb.
No.
That's not there. It's not there. So for them to say that is very clickbaitish,
Oh,
very engagement,
that's all it
engagement,
is. It's all it is
because
anymore.
it's too early for that. And Caleb isn't bad.
No,
He's not bad.
no, he's not. That's the thing.
Like and so what? So what? Even if the career of Jaden Daniels turns out to be better than the career of Caleb,
Yeah,
if
flashier,
you
number wise,
get
yeah,
if you get 6-time Pro Bowler Caleb Williams, Caleb Williams,
yes.
are you mad at it?
No,
Because
you
Jaden
can't
Daniels
be.
with 8, like you, what do you like? That's
Yeah,
the thing. It's difficult. We're not saying he's a bad quarterback,
no,
and it's way too early to say did they pick the wrong guy?
no, yes,
They picked their guy.
yes.
They picked their guy.
It it reminds me, and like this is gonna hit home for you, like Eli Manning and Philip Rivers.
Yeah.
Those are two, reluctant to say, Hall of Fame careers. One definite from Philip Rivers, and then
Oh, that hurt.
one definite Hall of Famer Philip Rivers, and then borderline Eli. Right, but like, can you be mad at the result? Like, even San Diego can't be mad. They're like, we got Philip Rivers. He was just a 14-time Pro Bowl.
We just didn't win with
Just
them.
didn't win with him because coaching.
It's hard
matters.
to win.
Coaching
Yeah,
matters.
it's coaching matters.
Coaching
Yeah.
matters, right? And so it's just like it's hard to win a Super Bowl, especially when you're in the same division as Tom Brady, and coaching matters, right? But I don't think Philip Rivers was ever the fault of San Diego. Like
No.
it's like I hate it. Like there, I don't know why the world exists in which two people can't both be good.
Yeah.
Five people both can't be good. Like why is it only one has to be the best and everyone else sucks, right? Like I don't understand that mentality for anything.
I just want a good quarterback for my team.
Yeah. That's all
If,
that's all I've wanted for
if he's the best quarterback in the league, that's great.
Yes. That's frosting on the cake.
I just want him to be good.
Yes.
I just want him
I
to
want
be
a good, competent quarterback that if we need him to throw, can throw to
Can
all
throw.
parts of the field and is not costing you the game. That's all I
Yeah.
want.
That's all I want. I'm not looking. It would be nice to have a Mahomes.
I'm gonna tell you,
It would
God,
be.
yeah.
It would
There's
be
only one of them.
amazing.
That was we used to always talk about like, well, who's the best quarterbacks in the league right now? Like, there's only one Rodgers. There's only one Breeze. You can only have one of them. Not every team can get these things. Like I've heard. My dad would say something like, they could have drafted him. No, they couldn't because that's not how it works. You only get one choice, right? Like it's just not. That's not how things work, right? You can't draft everybody. So it's like, yeah, I'm going to tell you what. If Sam Darnold is the best quarterback for the Vikings, and let's say Sam Darnold goes out there and they make the playoffs this year, which if they continue to play the way they are right now, there's no way they don't make the playoffs. But let's say
Yes.
Sam Darnold goes out there and earns a big time contract, which is what he would be doing. If you're the Vikings,
You trademark
you
JJ.
kind of have to keep Sam Darnold. You got to try to find a way to keep him.
You do.
You can't just let him walk away for and get a fourth round compensatory pick in 2 years back. You just can't. You like if he leads them and he's good and leads them to the playoffs.
And we know he's talented. He was
Yes.
a top 3 pick
Yeah.
in the NFL draft.
Yes.
So he just didn't work out with the Jets.
Yes.
That's just it.
Yeah. He
That's just it. It's just that simple.
struggled with the Jets. They didn't give him the time. They're like,
No.
we have no patience. Send him off to Carolina, the worst franchise in football. They
Yeah.
didn't have the time. Did they cut him or
They-
they bench him? They cut
they-
Baker
what-
Mayfield. They had Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold on the same damn team.
Same team. Both guys are starting.
And they cut
the
Baker.
Carolina.
And Baker went to the Rams. Remember that game? So Baker gets cut, gets signed by the Rams after Stafford gets hurt. He gets signed by the Rams on Monday, plays for him on Thursday, and leads them to a damn
wins.
victory. Right? You know, like if Carolina. So if you're Bryce Young, you got to be looking at like, well, Baker is able to do it, and Sam Darnold. Look at him. I just got to get out of Carolina, and I think that might be what helps Bryce. What if Bryce is like a late bloomer? He just doesn't get it like Geno Smith. He's got to play backup for a handful of years, and then all of a sudden becomes it. This problem is he was the first pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Baker. That is. I never liked Baker's attitude, but it's starting to grow on me a little bit more. I think he's been humbled by his
By his journey a
lack
little
of
bit.
success. Yes, And I don't want to say humble. I don't want to say humble. I will say matured.
Yes.
That's the word I would use. I think he is mature. He's still the same guy on the field he is. He
Hmm.
was. He's still fiery. He still gets loves being in it, and that's the stuff that I think I like about him.
Hmm.
But off the field, in front of the camera, when talking, he sounds like he's matured a lot more.
Yes.
So that's the word I use because I used to, oh man, I couldn't stand him.
I know.
Especially when he first started saying bad stuff about my quarterback. You say bad stuff about my
Yeah.
quarterback immediately, and I dislike you.
All I know is he got done dirty by the Browns, and the Browns, for what
They're getting done dirty by Deshaun Watson.
that's their own fault. That is their own fault. They have made that bed. They've made that bed. They've hoisted their own petard. That's what they're doing.
There's nothing they can do.
No, I know.
There's
They can't
there's
cut
no
him. They can't cut him, and no one will trade for him.
no
And if you
no.
trade for him, you're still eating a bunch of money. You can't do anything, and I love it. I love it so much. That's what you get. You dance with the devil, pale moonlight, right? And Jack Nicholson shoots your family. That's what happens.
It's yeah. They're rough. That Deshaun Watson thing. How did he forget how to play football? How does
Maybe
one
he's like Samson, and like
maybe
his one strength is
he was really relaxed going into those games, and now he's not as relaxed as he used
yeah,
to be. He's a little tense, and it shows. He can't move. He's not mobile.
yeah. He's not
Like
good.
he was just a sitting duck back there for the Giants.
He's only like
Like
28 too, right?
no, he's not that young. I mean, he's not that old.
Yeah,
So
I know.
yeah,
I know. He's like 27, 28, 29. He's 29 right now. He just turned 29.
still technically not even in the prime.
Yeah,
Not even in a quarterback's
yeah.
prime.
And he was so good. He was so good out
So
of college.
so good. Yeah, in the league for a bunch of years, he was good. So it's just I don't get how he's just regret. It's regressed isn't even a word. He's just bad now,
Yeah.
man. You know who's also bad, and I like talking about how bad he is. Trevor Lawrence.
Oh God. Okay. So let's talk about Beautiful Horseman. For I don't want to spend too much time going down all the games this week, but let's talk
Okay.
about the Bills because the Bills are a force.
I don't want to talk about them. They look legit.
They look better than they've looked in the last 2 years when they were like, this is their year. I don't know what they're doing, but
Maybe it's
Josh Allen is a beast, and that team is good.
maybe it's just not trying to force the ball into Diggs
Yeah.
and not having to worry about that kind of attitude on the
Must
sideline when
be.
you
I
know
don't.
that you don't get him the ball. Maybe he's playing loose. That's the only thing I can think of because I didn't think they would get better
Yeah.
by losing their best receiver.
Yes.
Didn't think it was possible.
No.
Didn't think it was possible.
Yeah.
But they have.
They look.
That game was over. There was a lot of games that were over by halftime, but that one
Yeah.
was
That
over
was
by
that was over
halftime.
by within the first like 3-4 minutes.
He had,
I think they got up quick.
he had like 4 touchdowns and 200 yards passing in the half.
Yeah.
Like it was a game's worth of points already.
Yeah.
Off top.
They scored 34 in the first half.
Oh yeah, it was
They were up
it was
34 to
bad.
3 at the halftime. Like
Yeah, let's
what are
go
you
to
gonna do?
bed. Cut it off. Glad that they had people were saying glad that they had 2 games on that night.
Hmm.
And the other one was good.
Yeah.
And the other one was actually good.
Yeah. Like Josh Allen and company just destroyed Trevor Lawrence.
We had that coach on the hot seat
Last year?
this
Or
year. I think going into this year,
Like,
if they did not perform,
yeah.
we thought that he might go.
Yeah.
They're playing good, but is their metric the regular season? Is their metric one of those if they can't get past Baltimore or KC, he's still gone?
They have to get past Kansas City. It's like
They got to seek it. Like, yeah,
they
you
have
know
to
what
get
I'm
to
saying?
Kansas
Like,
City and they got to beat Kansas City.
they got to
Get
beat
past them.
Kansas City. And is that the way? That's how you lose your job because you can't get past them?
Yeah. No,
It's,
no. I think this proves that they're like
yeah,
unless they just fall apart here. But I don't know what the Bills' schedule is, but I don't know when they lose a game after watching than the
Yeah,
first 3 weeks.
Miami's not going to be good for a
No.
while, and the Patriots are not going to be good. They do have to play the Jets, and the Jets look good. The
Mm-hmm.
Jets do look like a good team.
Yep.
Um, so the Jets might give them a problem.
Maybe.
What are, if I can see what their schedule looks like? Full schedule.
But I know Josh Allen threw to 10 different receivers.
They got the Ravens Sunday.
Yeah.
That's a tough game
And I think it's in Baltimore,
at
too.
Baltimore.
Yeah. That is a tough game.
Oh no, they got some games coming up. Baltimore, Houston,
Yeah.
Jets, all the way,
Yeah. Oh, man. 3 straight road games: Baltimore,
all the
Houston,
way, because they've
Jets.
had 3 straight home games. No,
Prime
they didn't.
time, Sunday night, Sunday afternoon, Monday night. They've already,
That's a tough schedule.
yeah. And
If
then,
they win 2 of those games, then they are a top team in the league.
but I'll tell you what, to their benefit, though, man, like they get to finish the majority. Like you get in, okay, 11-17. They have Kansas City at home.
That's gonna be a good game.
Then they get a bye week, and then they have 12-1 San Francisco at home. Then they go to LA, then they go to Detroit, then they get New England, and the Jets both at home. And then on 1-5 they go to New England to finish their season.
It's a, this
So
they don't have they don't. That's not an easy schedule.
no, but they get some of the tough opponents at home in December. Right? Like I know, but
They get Detroit at Detroit. They get the Rams, which isn't a tough team. I wouldn't call them a tough team, but they could be by that
they
time.
get to
They
go to
could get
LA,
some stuff
right?
together.
Like
They get to go to LA.
nice weather dome,
But they
and
get Kansas City in Buffalo,
San Francisco and
in
Buffalo, the Jets in Buffalo.
San Francisco and Buffalo in the winter.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Like
oh,
like
yeah, that's
it's not an easy run,
mm-hmm.
but
It's favorable.
it's
It's kind of favorable.
it's a better stretch for them. But this Baltimore Houston Jets back to back to
Oh,
back, that's tough. That's tough. I still like the
th-
Bills. I think they're they're just good. They're just really good. And they made Trevor Lawrence look stupid and bad. And stupid
I
and bad.
just, it just oh man.
Now
But
imagine you're
not
the Jags. He's only in his 4th year.
first year, if not maybe even not the first year of his extension of his
No.
270 million, 200 million
He
guaranteed
got a
extension.
5-year extension onto the 2 years he already had. So he's locked and loaded into Jacksonville for 7 seasons.
And they asked Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson said changes are gonna come. And they said, does that include quarterback change? And he said something like, all things are on the table.
What are they going to put Mac Jones out there?
He did,
Yeah.
but they were already losing pretty badly. And Mac Jones went 5 for 7 and fumbled.
Yeah.
He did not have. And why would Doug Peterson even say that?
I don't know.
Like, you're not going to do it. The minute you take Trevor Lawrence out the game is the end of your tenure in Jacksonville.
His tenure might be done anyway.
It might be, but it's putting Mac Jones in doesn't save it.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't save it, right? So it guarantees you lose. You leave Trevor in there, you go on a streak of you win 6 of 8 games of the final 8 games, and you go 7 for 17. Maybe you keep your job again.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be they don't look good.
Taking out your best quarterback is not to shake things up is never a good move. It's not a good
Mm-mm.
move, right?
Nope.
Like Trevor Lawrence is their best quarterback. Is Trevor
Correct.
Lawrence particularly good right now? No.
No.
Was he ever
But
good?
he's
Some say yeah,
maybe.
and some like you say no, right?
I
Like
say no, but I looked at the stats again. They were solid
he had that
when
one
you
really
when
good
you
season.
look at it. He's had 2 years of his 4 years. He's had 2 years of over 4,000 yards passing.
Yeah.
But his career touchdown to interception ratio, 60 touchdowns, 40 interceptions. When you
Bad.
conclude rushing touchdown, total touchdowns to turnovers,
It's bad.
71 TDs to 73
Yeah,
turnovers.
it's bad.
That's not good.
You don't want that. That's the thing. You don't. The turnovers are what kill you. If he cut those turnovers in half, it's still a
Oh
lot of
my God,
turnovers.
yeah.
But
But he'd be Pro Bowl.
yeah,
It would be,
people wouldn't be like scoffing at 55 million a year for Trevor Lawrence if he just said turn over the ball, because turn over the ball means losing.
yeah.
It just does.
You can march the ball down to 99 yards. You turn the ball over on the one, who cares? Your
Yeah.
numbers look good.
Yeah,
Your
exactly.
numbers have been padded because you got 99 yards on this drive,
Yeah.
but it gave you 0 points. And they came downfield and scored again, and you didn't. You also lost the game.
Yep.
Just so.
Yep.
Any other? I'll tell you the big surprise.
Andy Dalton,
Andy
the Red
Dalton.
Rifle. They put up 30.
That
They put up almost their total point total for last year in one game. Like, those Panthers are bad, and they put up 36 on the Raiders
and
in
looked
Las
good.
Vegas. Yeah.
Looked good. I didn't that I was like, that's not the same offensive line that was blocking for Bryce Young, is it? Like,
Yeah.
and I saw something that I was like, all right, it's obvious, but he didn't have to say that. Dan Canales was like, oh yeah, most definitely Andy Dalton's playing again next week. He didn't have to say it like that.
No.
He could have said, we're gonna evaluate, we're gonna look the tape, we're gonna see.
Oh,
Bryce is
you want
still
to be
our
like Mike
guy.
Tomlin?
Yeah.
We're trending towards Justin Fields starting again. He's starting again. He's 3-0, and he's playing the best football of his professional career
That's what you say. But that's
I
what
know.
a coach says, especially when
because he's got two quarterbacks.
especially when the starter is not really starting.
Yes.
You're going to the bench. You have to show that you still have faith in the starter to come in there and do it. He was like, no. Undoubtedly, Andy Dalton will be starting next
I
week.
think you said last week that Bryce was done in Carolina. And
I
I
hope
was
he's
like,
not.
I know, they're go back. I think he's done. I think he's done in Carolina. I think they'll try to move him after this season. If not by the trade deadline. The trade deadline makes no sense because nobody's going to trade for a quarterback at the trade deadline.
If they're gonna do it, they sell high now.
Yeah, but
At this point,
no. I'm going to tell you what. If they do it now, they might get a 4th-round pick for him.
but when can they get a? When can they not? Right now, you're trading him to a team that does not. You're trading him to the Dolphins, who just lost their backup quarterback.
And you might get a 4th-round pick for him.
Well, did you hold them? You play hardball with the Dolphins. You need a quarterback. We have a quarterback.
But so here's the thing, right? To the detriment of Bryce Young, he hasn't done anything on the football field that would warrant me going, all right, I'll play hardball to get Bryce Young because he's going to help a very good team go back to very good while we wait for Tua to get back in there. It's just not going to happen. Plus, they just paid Tua all that money. They're not going to.
Yeah, true. That's true. But the thing is, like they said on the radio here, during the draft, every team has a rating that they give those high draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case. You may not get to them, but you still have them rated on your board, right? So it was just last year that board, they could dust off they didn't even got to dust it off. They didn't have time to accumulate dust.
Yes.
Their draft ranking's still there. So if a team had him rated high, they can't let his performance in
you can't.
Charlotte determine it, because Charlotte's a totally different predicament.
Yes.
Right. So you have to go off of what you saw, what your scout team graded. And if you had him graded and rated high, maybe you can take a chance on him.
Yeah, but you're not going to give up a 4th. You're not going to give up anything more than a 4th for him. And that's lucky, I think, right now, because he's been so bad, and that team has been so bad.
But no one who wants him, no one who even calls the Panthers and inquires about him, doesn't need a quarterback right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm talking about your Indianapolis Colts, not your Indianapolis Colts. I don't think Richardson is in jeopardy. Your Tennessee Titans with Will Levis, I don't think they like him.
Yeah.
Who else? Maybe your Gardner Minshew. I don't think he's liked in there, but I think they paid him.
Well, I mean,
So
they paid him like a backup. They paid him. He gets like 12 or 14 a year or whatever. Like
so
they don't
so
like
so
him, and they don't like Aiden O'Connell, so they don't like either quarterback.
they don't
I don't
exactly
think they like Bryce Young. I don't think Bryce Young is what they
is
would
the
like
type
either.
of play.
Yeah,
Maybe not. Maybe not. I'm just saying that. But any team that's going to make willing to make the call is realizes that they don't have it in their starting
you know, it would
quarterback.
be an amazing move
What was that?
if the Jets traded for him and let him sit
Uh,
behind Aaron Rodgers, and then get Aaron Rodgers for one more year. It's like, okay, we'll give him. Let's give you one more season because I feel like he's on his way out. Like he's been wanting to retire for like 5 years.
mhm.
Let him sit there. What? Let's just say Aaron
That's it.
Rodgers imbues the power within him like he did to Jordan Love.
Like you don't did you love
Yeah.
that a spot? If you're going to trade for him to be a backup, I'm not giving him more than a fourth round pick.
No, I think if you've even trading for a starter, you're not giving more than a fourth round for.
But you have to entice me. You have to. The Panthers are in no position to have to get rid of him,
No,
right?
but remember when the Cardinals drafted Matt Rosen
Mm-hmm.
like sixth overall, and then next year they're like, they traded him and drafted Kyler number one, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
just if you're gonna do it, just rip the Band-Aid off.
Yeah, but then you're betting your whole future
Yeah.
on Andy Dalton, which I don't think you can.
No, oh heavens no, Andy Dalton. I
don't
look
think you
back
can.
at our way too early predictions, and that's when I thought Andy Dalton was out of the league. I had him as the comeback player of the year, and then, and the way too early. Um, yeah, Andy Dalton is not a future for anybody, except for maybe Mrs. Dalton. You know, he's not an answer,
It's not
and
an
he's
answer.
not an answer to a bad team either. He's a fill-in on a bad team, and I have a feeling that we're going to see
We'll see classic game why he's
we're
a
going to see
backup,
classic
not a starter.
Panthers. We're going to see
Yeah,
classic Panthers. Andy
I
Dalton.
think the
Oh, go
I
ahead.
think the Raiders just might have got caught with their pants down. They just
Yeah.
they just did not prepare for Andy Dalton.
No.
They just went out there thinking that they were going to run the same, like we're going to do the same thing that we were going to do to Bryce. We're not even going to change it up.
No.
And they got caught with their pants down. I thought that they would change at halftime, change the scheme. They did not. It got worse.
Mhm.
They just that was a surprise. Any other games that was a surprise?
That was definitely a surprise. That was the biggest surprise. That was the biggest shock of the week, in my opinion.
Broncos, I thought winning was a surprise. I
Yeah,
think that was my upset.
yeah,
No, no. I
no.
think that was my lock.
Your lock was the Bills over the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
My lock was the Texans over the Vikings, so they didn't believe in the Vikings.
Mm.
And I was high on C.J. Stroud after watching him dismantle the Bears to an extent. And I'm like, yeah, he's gonna do that to the Vikings, and I was very wrong about that. I was very wrong about everything last week.
I was not good. We thought we couldn't do worse. I think we might have done worse. But
I did significantly worse.
Ooh.
So 2 weeks ago, you got 8 right, and
Yeah,
I
10,
got
right?
7 right.
Oh no, that was last week.
That was 2 weeks
That
ago.
was in week 1.
That was week 2. Week 1,
Yeah.
8 to 10. I had 10.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Week 2, 8 to 7. I had 7.
I caught up with one game plus one.
Week 3, you had 9. I did worse. I got 6.
6.
I was dog heavy last week. Remember?
You were.
I was
You
dog heavy.
were. Wait, did you continue your pick with the the Browns? Because I said, "Are you sure you want to go
Yes.
root for Deshaun Watson?" And you
Yes,
was like,
and remember,
yeah.
I was like, "Oh God!" And then I said, "Maybe there'll be an indictment between now and then." So I had the Patriots, womp. Bears, womp. Browns, womp. Titans over Packers, womp. Texans over
Yeah.
Vikings as a lock, womp. Saints over Eagles, womp. I had the
That's a game.
Steelers. Buccaneers over the Broncos, womp. Raiders over the Panthers, womp. Seahawks
Yes.
over Dolphins. Yeah, I had a bad week. Bad week. Like if you're a gambler, just do opposite me and you'll be fine.
Oh, unlike other people, I'm glad you have not mentioned the number 26 for the Eagles.
He's the reason they
Um,
won.
He's the reason he won 2 games.
Yeah,
He is-
that Eagles team, I don't think the Eagles team is good. I don't
Hey.
think they're good at all.
He is doing. He's holding a team up
Yeah,
like he's done for his
before
former
in the
team
past. Yeah.
in the past. Um, yeah, they had nothing for the Saints. The defense came to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, because the Saints been putting up 40 spots the first two
Defense
weeks.
came to play,
Mm-hmm.
but Saints defense also came to play. They just could not stop Dallas Goddard and uh number 26
Yeah, they
for
had
the
him
Eagles.
stopped for 3 freaking quarters.
That's that's been his career.
Yeah,
The thing is, you keep handing him the ball because he's going to break one. The longer the game goes on, the better his chances are of breaking a long one.
mm-hmm.
It's just a matter if he's healthy enough to to get past the like when I've seen him get past like I've seen this before. No one's catching him. That's a touchdown. like he's
He's very
so
good.
fast.
He's so fast. He's hard to bring down. He's one of those. He's the classic. He's a classic running back in the sense of just keep giving it to him. The defensive line's going to get tired. They
Yes.
can't. He's so hard to tackle. It takes so much effort to tackle him every time. There's going to a point where you just can't tackle him, and he broke off that 65 yarder,
Yeah.
and
He'll have
and
two.
then that was the game, right?
Yeah. He'll have 2.6 yards to carry for the first 3 quarters. But those large gains, and you're looking about like he had 16 carries for 105 yards. One carry was 70 yards.
Yeah,
And you're like, that's not a very good game, but
he did
it,
17 147 and into that 65 yarder. So,
mm-hmm.
so he was close to 10 yards a carry. He was like 8 yards a carry, but he also had a
he's,
65 yarder in there, right?
he was a he's good. He's good. He's good.
Derek Carr looked human against. I don't think I don't think the Eagles defense is that good either. Like I and the Eagles, oh man, Devonta Smith
Devonta Smith.
got killed. Like I don't know if he'll play again this year. That's how bad he got hit. Like that was
He
such.
got it. He walked off the field.
Tua walks off the field too, my man.
but was it you I talked about that I said it's the way to his concussions look?
Yes.
Was it that like that's the problem? Like you could get hit. Like he got hit. Like Devontae got hit, and when he got hit, he immediately went.
Well,
Flip.
his
He
helmet went
immediately
flying. He hit the
and
turf.
he went like by. But then when you see him get up and he walks, you go, okay. It of course you can't judge brain damage on
Yeah.
right then and there, but it did not look as bad as some of the Tua concussions that he stumbles off drunk.
Yeah.
Like, but when I saw that hit, me and my friend texted each other like, "Oh, he's dead."
Yeah. That's the
like,
first
it
thing. I was like, oh my god.
it was a brutal hit. He weighs only like a buck
Yeah,
75.
he's a
He's a small
tall,
guy.
skinny dude. Yeah. I don't know if
And
he's that tall. He's just skinny. Yeah.
they laid him out, and I was like, he's probably not going to play next week.
No. He's gonna be
So
in the
he's in
protocol
concussion
for a minute,
protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things like that was one. It was an incredibly dirty hit. That was like one of those
And
plays,
no flag on the play.
which is insane as well.
In this league,
Yeah.
you would think that just the results of what happened
He got a
would have
second
drew a
concussion for all the
flag.
flags flying in at him.
yes, because that's somehow how it is. Oh, that looked good until you see the guy who got hit. Like, nope, that wasn't good. I
Yeah.
gotta throw something out.
Man, because it was like crown of the helmet right to the head. I mean, he hit him so hard in the head, his helmet flew off.
Yeah,
Like it was not good. And his helmet just like fall off. It flew,
flew.
off his head. Man, he got crushed.
it was one of those late '90s, early 2000 hits when people was just diving head first, like one of those vicious hits.
that
Hits
was
that
a
they tried
hit
to-
where if you're watching ESPN Monday night and they were doing the plays,
Oh,
he got jacked up. They would all been screaming it. Right?
Yeah.
They would been celebrating and Stuart Scott would have been raising the roof for that one, right? Like
yeah, classic NFL.
yeah, he got jacked up. That was a bit, man. They did. Do you remember that? They did that every
yeah.
week. They took the 10 most concussion-worthy plays and screamed "jacked up" as the guy got creamed because it was all part of the game back then.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bro,
I don't think the Eagles are good though, and it's wild because I don't know if like are the Commanders the most promising team in the East right now? I don't know. It leaves the door open for the Giants, that's for sure.
If it goes, it all happens Thursday.
Yeah.
We
Well,
gotta
yeah. Thursday's
gotta
going to
do
be a real
something
litmus
Thursday.
test, I think.
Yes. If it is, then the NFC East is wide open.
Yeah.
But there are no clear dominant teams in the East in that regard. If the Giants go in there and if the Giants beat
Oh,
the
it's going to be like
Cowboys,
4 years ago when the Commanders or the football team they won the division being 7-9 or whatever.
what's absolutely crazy is no team has gone back to back to win the division.
I know, which is
And it
wild.
looks like it's not going to happen again.
Yeah, we're only
Because the
3 games
Cowboys
in. You
wanted,
got to remember
but the
that.
Cowboys won a division last year,
Yes.
and they don't look like they're division winners.
No.
I'm not saying that they won't make the playoffs. They don't look like division winners.
No. Yeah,
So
they looked real rough. Baltimore gave them all they could handle, and then so
that game was over at halftime.
I wasn't watching the game, but I saw the score. I'm like, oh man, because I have Dak on my fantasy team. I'm like, what are you doing, Dak? I need points. What are you doing? And then I'm like, well, I'm gonna turn this on and watch the end of it. I turn it on, and then Dallas scored 2 touchdowns in like 4 minutes. I'm like, maybe I am what Dallas needs. Like I'm the inverse of what happens to the Bears.
Well, what they did a good thing by they onside kicked. Did you saw watch the onside kick? They made an onside kick, so they was able to get 2 possessions and they scored on both of them,
Yeah.
which was very good for them because when the Ravens defense wanted to play, Cowboys could do nothing.
Yeah.
They could do nothing.
The Ravens
And
defense looked gassed in the fourth quarter, though.
they looked like they didn't want to be out there. No one did.
Yeah.
They were up 28-3 or something. It was something stupid.
20-6 going into the fourth. Yeah.
And they were just running the ball. They had been, like I said, they had been playing run the clock out since 9 minutes to go in the third. And they stopped throwing the ball. Lamar threw the ball 15 times all game.
Yeah.
And I would bet 12 of those
Were caught?
were
Yes.
yeah, 12 of course. But I bet 12 of them were in the first half.
Probably.
Like
Yeah.
they didn't throw the ball. I think he threw on the last drive of the game to when they needed a first down. I think he threw one to Zay Flowers.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably the only time he threw the ball.
Baltimore ran for 274 yards.
And I had Lamar going, they're going to take him out the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I thought because there was no real reason to keep him in.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, well, I'm going to lose this fantasy game because because the Ravens are too good.
Yeah.
Or the Cowboys stink too so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. Dallas has 2 big problems. I think these are 2 glaring problems. They can't run the ball. They can't stop the run.
Correct.
If you can't do those things,
It's going to be a long night.
you're going to get abused. And they got abused. Derrick Henry rushed the ball 25 times. This is like old school. 25 times for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. Lamar ran the ball 14 times for 87 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You had 2 guys
And
almost.
Justice Hill got in the game and ran
5 for 33.
Yeah, it didn't stop.
And I'm assuming Zay Flowers had the one end around for 3 yards. Right? Like what are we doing? Like Cowboys cannot stop the run and they can't run the ball.
They're weak up the middle.
Yeah.
They're weak up the middle. And like I said before, I think they're not getting the turnovers that they got. Their defense was very turnover heavy.
Yeah.
Right. And they're not getting the turnovers that they were once getting. And it's exposing the defense. Like people said, all you do is run at Micah Parsons, and there's nothing else that anyone else can do.
Yeah.
Right. So I hope the Giants take note. I don't think we have a running game that strong.
Yeah.
I think Devin Singletary is good, but I don't think he's that strong of a running game. But yeah, and without a running game, and that guy Jerry Jones is crazy.
Yep. This is entirely.
I
his
know
doing.
I know that they probably can't do this, but maybe I should take the team from him. Maybe you should check them, get a mental check. Because some of the things he says, I'm like,
well, what did he say this week? I didn't see.
well, it was we couldn't afford him. And did you see the video that apparently Jamie Foxx went live on Instagram Live and Jerry Jones was talking about players' penis size, and and Jamie Foxx had to cut it off immediately because he and when asked about that, Jerry Jones was like, I don't even remember that conversation. He went live, and Jamie Foxx is here, and Jerry Jones is right there. You hear Jerry Jones in the background talking about their their size, just like, yeah, that guy's a big guy. He's like 6'4", 275 pounds, 8.5 inch. Like, whoa. And Jamie Foxx has to go off live immediately. It's just funny, but just going on, and I'm just like, all right. But the thing about the not affording a running back is the one that I'm like, come on, Jerry. I don't have to say. I think Greeny
Yes, he
hit it
did.
on the head earlier today. Like it was all of his doing.
Yeah.
Like like signing your quarterback to the highest contract ever
Yep.
an hour before the first game
Yes.
is bad.
It's bad.
It's not good.
Do your off season stuff in the off season.
The offseason.
When you're supposed to do it. Like the amount of money he paid Dak an hour prior to the first game is the amount of money he would have paid Dak in
An
February.
hour after the last game.
Yes, exactly. It's the same amount of money. What were you thinking? Same thing with CeeDee Lamb. Waiting all that time. And because they had no cap flexibility,
But $3 million.
yeah, that's all they had.
But Henry's only getting $8 million.
I know.
You trying to tell me they couldn't find $5 million?
No, they couldn't.
Like
They had nothing.
all it would have signing Dak would have given them all in
Yeah.
December would have given them all the money that they
Yeah.
needed.
They could have signed Derrick Henry. They could have shored up their offensive line.
Got a defensive tackle.
They could
Got
have
a defensive tackle.
Yeah, they could have done all the things that they needed to do, but they didn't because they were all in on waiting to free up their money. I don't understand what they're
All
doing.
in doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't make
No.
sense. He's done nothing to show that they went all in on anything.
He's a great option quarterback. You know what? You know Jerry Jones is option quarterbacking. He may call himself that. The play that he ran was a speed option from 4th and goal from the 1 where the entire offensive line was on a water slide and they lost 12 yards.
That's
Like even so, like man, just think about this. Like let's say they tried to run up the gut one more time and didn't get it. They would have left the Colts on the 1, on their own 1. And they were playing good defense. They would have either
safety.
or
Anything could
like
have
prime
happened.
pick 6 territory, right? Like or
Yeah, forcing Richardson to throw. Oh yeah,
from the 1, right? Come on. But no.
But they did have Jonathan Taylor who gashed off for a 29-yard touchdown. So they would have ran the ball three
he
times
broke
probably.
free one time, right?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
they would have ran the ball three times, but still.
Let's say they ran
And
it 3
punted.
times up the gut. There's still a chance. Maybe there's a fumble. Maybe there's something. It's like you're right there in the end zone. It makes the game infinitely harder. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's so frustrating.
The Cowboys went and got have 3 running backs and can't get 30 yards from 3 running backs.
No, it's like the Bears. It's what the Bears did this week. Rico Dowdle.
But the Bears decide they don't like to use one of them. I haven't seen it.
I'm going to tell you what, Roshan Johnson is going to be the feature back from now on. He's got to be. Rico Dowdle, 8 for 32. Dak, 2 for 7. Zeke, 3 for 6. Deuce, 2 for 5. Cavante Turpin, 1 for 1. You know how long his long was? 1.
What?
No.
It was you can't win games. Well, you can win games. It's just not a good formula to
Against good teams, he can't.
For 50 yards in a game.
If you can't run and you can't stop the run against a good team, you're going to have problems.
You're gonna have problems. So,
man,
hopefully. Anything other interesting things happen? We talked about Jaden Daniels. Did we talk about Jaden? We talked about him briefly. Their game against the Bengals is really good. The Bengals aren't looking very good. I think they're an okay team. I think they will get wins. I don't think they're a horrible team. They're the best 0-3 team out there.
All right, ready? So these are the only 0-3 teams in the NFL: the Bengals, the Jags, and the Titans.
Yes.
Are you ready for this? The Bengals head coach is Zach Taylor. Okay. The Jags offensive coordinator, his name is Press Taylor. Zach's brother. Titans head coach is new this year. He's Brian Callahan. He was Zach's offensive coordinator in Cincinnati up until last year, 2019 to 2024. Is Zach Taylor just poison pill? Like, is it bad? Like, the theme is Zach Taylor, all three of them.
The Cincinnati's not going to be bad. They're
already 0-3. They're out of the playoffs. You
they're
can chalk. They're not making the playoffs. You can say that already.
No team who's 0-3 has ever made the playoffs. Yes, that's true.
No team that's 0-3 has ever won the Super Bowl. No team that's 0-3. There's been 0-3. There's been a few 0-3 teams that have made the playoffs, and I think the Bengals are one of them.
Okay, so they will. They're the best 0-3 team that we mentioned. Will Levis stinks, and the Titans is not going to be good, and the Jags they're fighting an uphill battle now.
Yeah,
but they get to play the Titans twice.
Yep.
So
and the Titans get to play the Jags twice.
Titans get to play the Jags twice. So who knows?
It's just like the whole NFC South gets to play the Panthers twice, right?
Yeah. Now it used to be tough. Now I mean, it used to be an easy one. Now you're wishing that they still had Bryce back there.
Well, I don't think the Red Rifle's going to do anything. So.
Yeah, eventually he'll stop.
Yeah. It'll go back to normal. It's like Fitzmagic. Remember when Fitzpatrick come in and like, it's Fitzmagic. He threw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns, and then the next week, it's Fitzmagic. He threw 5 interceptions.
Dude, yes,
and now he's benched. All right, okay, great.
But everything is back to normal.
It's just like the pass turnout last year, right?
He had a run.
Josh Dobbs, the pass turnout.
He had a run. He had a run. I like the name.
Done.
The Chiefs won on another call where the refs gave them one.
Yeah,
this can't keep happening every week.
Yeah,
the refs didn't give them the one where it was a clear cut.
They just missed the exact same pass interference, but on the opposite side.
Exactly. This
in the end zone.
Yeah, and Kyle Pitts, he was mauled. Guy never turned his head.
But I wonder if it's a little Jordan action here, right? It's Jordan gets the calls and
Kyle
Popeye
Pitts
Jones doesn't, or baby.
Yeah, but Jordan. You got to call it like you see it, and that was.
I understand. Oh, I agree 100%.
And have to call it. How many? You know how you said before that it's almost impossible to see the hand, see the ball, see the feet, right? Everyone's looking at that play. This everyone is looking at that play.
Not
even
a flinch.
And you don't even have to look at the hands. They could make that call and miss.
All you had to see was the Chiefs defender with his back to the ball, with his helmet into Kyle Pitts' chest, wrap it up like he's tackling him. And like
before the ball's there.
That was a terrible miss. I think I saw somebody like try to like, because Chiefs are known as the refs are
the refs favorites,
right? But I think in the long run, like it evens, it levels out, right? It's probably no more, no less for the Chiefs than any other team. It's just sometimes I think it's because the Chiefs are on primetime a lot. The Chiefs are very visible. The Chiefs win a lot, so therefore
the Chiefs are in a lot of close games as well.
Yes.
Right, they're not really blowing things up. So, like, let's say calls don't go your way in the first quarter, right? That's how even they'll miss some calls in the first. It seems like they always
towards the
even
end.
Now in the fourth quarter. So that's
gotta find a way to win. I mean, the Kansas City didn't even score in the fourth quarter in that game. I don't think the Falcons are good. I really don't.
No, I don't. I don't.
But
they're middle of the pack. They're middle of the pack.
Yeah, they'll be picking.
They're not bad. They're not bad.
Yeah, I don't think they're good. Kansas City's good, and they definitely got a benefit on that call for sure. You know,
if we
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't say the Lions are another team that got a very favorable call this weekend.
I didn't see
it was the most obvious pick six I've ever seen in my life. But then they called it like in the grasp or something like that, or golf. And that happened in the Bears game too, where Anthony Richardson was dragging a defender and then threw a ball that was picked off or was fumbled.
I saw that. Yes.
And they're like, forward momentum. He was still moving forward. Like you couldn't say he was stopped. He was dragging a man, right? Same thing happened to
Hmm.
Goff. Like something happened and his pick six got, and then they end up scoring on that. They only won by a touchdown. Like I think that
Some
Cardinals team is better than their 1-2 record.
Speaking of weird plays, something happened. I think it was in the Giants game I was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Giants had was it the Giants game? I don't know. Well, I was watching a few games, but the play basically goes they were on the end they were in their end zone, so safety territory,
Mm-hmm.
right? Guy gets tackled. He's getting tackled. He then throws the ball to a
That was Dak Prescott.
line. It was Dak Prescott?
Yes,
Yes.
it
Who
should have been a
throws the
safety.
ball to a lineman who catches the ball,
Yes,
catches the ball, gets tackled. To me, that's an illegal. Intentional grounding.
it's intentional grounding, illegal receiver. Yeah, all the different things. Illegal
But
touch.
because the guy catches the ball, it's an illegal forward pass, which is not a sack and gives them 2 points. It's just, oh, well, it's a penalty. They lose some yards. I'm like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah, they got saved on that one. Yeah.
They definitely got said. I was like, he's sacked. He was his knee was 2 inches from being on the ground when he threw the ball at the
Mm-hmm.
back of his offensive lineman, and he just caught it.
Yep. Yeah, if he doesn't catch it, it's intentional grounding because there's
It's
no
intentional
receiver.
grounding.
There's no receiver, so it's almost like they practiced that.
Yeah, turn around. I'm just gonna get you the ball.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
so
I
they,
was
they
like,
practice that play, and then they're like, all right, let's get Zeke up there under center and put everybody on the outside. They practice that play right afterwards.
those are those, one of those plays is solid. One of those
Yeah.
plays is sound
One of those
strategy.
plays
Yo.
is smart, right? Hey, good smart play. Good football IQ. That's what you say when you accidentally do something right in football. Football IQ. That guy there's got some good football IQ.
I was like, okay, that's a good way of getting out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Just throw it to someone who you know is looking right at you is gonna catch it.
Yeah.
That's easy.
Even though he knows he's not supposed to, you just throw it into his hands so hard that he can't not catch it.
Oh
No.
man, no. Yeah, we didn't talk about it, and I think there was a bunch of games we didn't talk about. And we don't have to talk about all of them. The Rams Niners game was a good game that the Niners let slip away.
Yes. And that's why I want McVay as the head coach because that team is decimated. And they still went out there and played hard and got a win. Like,
Yeah.
they shouldn't have beat the 49ers, but they're at home. It's conference rivals, blah, blah, blah. Anything can happen. But,
They were down.
yeah, they were. They scored 13 in the fourth to win. Right? It's like Brock Purdy, 292 and 3. Purdy had a nice game.
No, it
Numbers
didn't.
wise, Stafford had an okay game. Numbers wise,
The defense didn't come to play.
no.
The defense gave too many points at inopportune times. Kyron Williams looks really good.
He is really good. He ran down their throats. He had 3 touchdowns on
He
the
had
day.
a flip into the end zone.
Yeah, I like him.
Like not one like he was like he was open. The guy was going to tackle his legs and he flipped over
Oh, is that what
into the
happened?
end zone.
I like him.
Yes.
And it's not because I drafted him on my fantasy team last year in a keeper league. I just like him. He's one of those guys. Yeah, the Rams. Yeah, there's a lot of games. Like there wasn't a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like Seahawks, Dolphins. Who cares?
Yeah, the Dolphins are horrible. No need to even mention them.
Steelers, Chargers. It's a big okay. Justin Fields had a real nice game though. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But like the Chargers, their whole offensive line got hurt. Joe Alt and their 2 tackles are hurt. Herbert got hurt, and Easton Stick came in and played the second half, and he got hurt, I think, too. So it's like whatever. But Justin Fields had a nice game.
Seahawks won.
Seahawks won. Who cares? They beat the Dolphins, right? Like it's just the games that were good were good, and the Bills crushed the Jags.
Yeah.
It's like that's a humiliating loss. That's one of those like, should the Jags just concede and
And be relegated down
Yeah,
to
just call
the
the
NCAA.
SEC? All right. Well, we got
week?
games this week.
We got games.
We got 2 Mondays again, which I don't understand, but we got 2 Mondays. But we do have Thursday night football.
Oh yeah.
I've been waiting all week for Thursday night. Do they have a theme song?
Amazon Prime is just they don't care.
Yeah, they probably got Tony Gonzalez dancing or something over on the side. So we have the Cowboys going to New Jersey to face the New Jersey Giants.
Both teams 1-2.
Dallas are 6-point favorites.
Yeah, in New York.
In New York.
Which I guess I see it. I can see it. But I'm picking out the Giants. Picking the Giants outright with the win.
Yeah, well, I gotta take the Cowboys because I'm so far behind in picks already. It's only week 4.
There'll be no dogs for you.
No, I'm. It might be all chalk.
Chalk.
It'll be the week of the dog. Oh, okay. So that's gonna be an interesting game, though. That'll be the litmus test. Like you said, is the East up for grabs, or did the Cowboys just have a rough start? But they can't stop the run, and they can't run.
Cowboys' 2 losses have been to the Saints badly,
yes,
and the Ravens badly.
Yes.
Regardless of 28-25, whatever.
Yeah.
They were out of that game in the fourth quarter, the Ravens. But so I still like to say they lost. There was a bad loss.
Well, yeah, but we said it. They can't run and they can't stop the run. So they're going to have a very difficult time being successful, particularly in postseason where running the ball counts the most.
Especially in the red zone.
Yes. Yeah. They're usually the Cowboys are like a write-in for the playoffs. You'd be like, oh, they'll make the playoffs. They might be an 8-win team.
They don't look good.
Eight wins is below 500 right now. So 8-9.
Beating the Giants won't do anything for them.
No,
it's not going to raise them in the power rankings.
No.
It's not going to do anything for them. It should be chalk. Losing to them, the roof is on fire. Everything is burning. The house is on fire.
Well, Jerry, we don't need no water. Yeah,
no, we don't need.
Let that motherfucker burn. I'm an options. I'm an option quarterback. I like it when it's burning. Well, I'm taking the Cowboys because I need the chalk.
You need the chalk.
And we have the Chicago Bears Sunday afternoon hosting the Los Angeles Rams. 2 1-2 teams. The Bears are 2.5-point favorites.
I think they should be favorite.
Yeah.
I want to say that I'm going to go say Chicago, but something is telling me that coaching matters and Sean McVay. Sean McVay's better. Sean McVay's better.
That's my fear. My fear is.
But I want to say I believe, and my pick is going to be the Bears. I'll just say that.
I think the Bears secondary is definitely.
Their defense is
but the Rams don't have any weapons on offense right now other than Kyren Williams.
Other than Kyren, which the Bears have the talent to stop.
Yes.
They're not going to get run on.
So if the Bears can figure out how to block, can figure out how to run, like this could be the game where, oh, look, the Bears offense actually scored 27 points this week. Very possible. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. I think you're taking the Bears.
I picked the Bears too. Yeah. I think the Bears probably win 58-14.
After this is over, I got a question. After we pick our picks.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Saints go to Atlanta. The 2-1 Saints go to the 1-2 Falcons. Atlanta's favorite in this game by 1.5.
Division games. The teams aren't that far apart. It's after the Saints they did not look like the team of the first 2 weeks.
No.
With that said, I'm still picking the Saints.
Yeah. I have to pick the Saints too. I don't believe in the Falcons at all.
That's not chalk, sir.
I know it isn't. But I feel like if I pick the Falcons, it's a fool's errand. I'm not going to do it. Now here, this might be the game of the week.
I think I see the game you're talking about, huh?
In Lambeau Field, the 3-0 Vikings go to the 2-1 Packers. Packers are 2.5-point favorites.
In Lambeau?
In Lambeau.
Oh, listen. I've been riding the Packer hot hand. I'm not gonna stop.
Yeah.
Not gonna stop.
You can write that. So it's probably going to be Malik Willis again, who was very good this last week. Very good. However, I didn't just talk abnormally amount of time about Sam Darnold.
Just to give up on
him now. So I'm going Vikings. I said chalk. I've got 2 dogs in a row, both on the road. Oh, This is why I'm glad Sportsbook is not
The-
available in Wisconsin. After that, we had the Steelers, the 3-0 Steelers, going to the 1-2 Colts. Pittsburgh's
Steelers.
1.5 favorites. Yeah, I have to go
Four.
Steelers. I
Four.
watched the
Yeah.
Colts because I watched the replay of the game. They're not good. The Steelers, I don't know if they're great, but they're
Their
good.
defense is salty. They don't turn the ball over. That's
TJ Watt is
it.
he's
That's
nasty,
it. That's
man.
it. That's all Mike Tomlin ever wanted.
Yeah.
We defense is salty. We don't turn the ball over.
And we got a quarterback that actually can move the ball. He doesn't have to move the ball all the time. The team has never rested upon the shoulders of the quarterback since Roethlisberger has left.
Yep.
Right? And even Roethlisberger in his last few years was
Relying
throwing
on
medicine balls out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields, and I said it before the season even started, offers them something that Russ doesn't. It's the ability to run with the ball, to move the pocket, to have a defense have to scheme for him. Is he the best passer in the world? No, but he's been really good the last couple of weeks. He's been good. He's been solid. That's all I need. Just don't turn over the ball. Score. Score when you can. All right. Then we have the Broncos. The surprisingly 1-2 Broncos going to the 2-1 Jets. Jets are 7.5-point favorites.
Jets. I'm not picking dogs on that one. Jets.
Nope, that is all Jets. I hate Aaron Rodgers. I saw him in an interview today with Pat McAfee talk about you gotta
The New
ask
Jersey
Jordan,
Jets?
Gotta talk about Jordan Love. I think he owns the Bears now. I hope that man chokes on something.
He's still mentioning the Bears.
He still mentions the Bears. The man, like, he mentions the Bears every chance he can get.
He did enough. He's already haunts kids' dreams. Let him live.
Yeah, just go away, Aaron Rodgers. Then we have the shouldn't be 2-1 Eagles, 2-1 Eagles going against the 2-1 Buccaneers in Tampa Bay. And Philadelphia is favored at 2.5 points.
This is the rematch of the playoff game last year, where the Tampa Bay absolutely dominated them. And from the defensive side of the ball as well. Meaning Todd Bowles knows something about I know that Saquon offers a new wrinkle to that team.
They don't have anybody to pass to.
They don't have anyone. Dallas Goedert, they can't just give the ball to Dallas Goedert every single time. No. And
the Bucs have some good linebackers.
So I'm going to say Tampa Bay.
I'm taking Tampa Bay as well. Oh man, I have the Buccaneers versus the Eagles and the Buccaneers versus the Broncos next back to back. That should not be it. It should be the Bengals and the Panthers. But I have
That's the game of the week, sir.
Oh man, hold on. I'm missing a game here. Texans Jags? No.
Yep, Texans Jags. The only three games we haven't mentioned was Texas Jags.
I'm missing this
one. Carolina, Cincinnati,
so
and
we're gonna
Washington,
jump a little bit
Arizona.
ahead.
There's a few games we haven't said yet.
Because I haven't. The Cardinals are hosting the Commanders.
Yes. Oh man, I don't want to see the Washington Commanders at 3-1.
I don't think.
But I'm going to say they're 3-1. I'm going to say they're playing in Washington or they're playing in Arizona?
They're playing in Arizona. Arizona's 3-point favorites. I'm taking the Cardinals because I believe in the Cardinals.
I'm taking Washington.
All right. Now we go to the game of the week. The 0-3 Bengals go to the 1-2 Panthers.
He's back home.
Who?
Red Rifle.
Well, no, it's in Carolina though.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Yeah, he's not. So he's playing his former team.
Only 4.5-point favorites. Then this is the first time in 2 years where the Panthers have not been multiple touchdowns.
7 points.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cincinnati because, like I said, I don't think Cincinnati's a bad team.
I gotta go chalk.
I'm about to say you got to be taking chalk on this.
I don't know if you could pay me to take the Panthers.
I don't know either. That's what I'm saying.
Like you'd be like, here's $1,000, bet the Panthers, or just we're not even betting. Just say the Panthers are gonna win. I don't know if I can. All right, now we got to talk about our locks later on, and I don't know if I can pick the same team twice. But the 0-3 Jaguars go to the 2-1 Texans. Houston's a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, that's Texan.
You don't want Beautiful Horseman in this one?
No, no, 0-4. They'll be the last win team with the win. The Jags are.
It's looking like it.
Because I think the Bengals win this week. Oh, Tennessee's, I don't see them winning now. So,
Mm.
oh, maybe. I see who they're playing.
Oh, yeah, there's a good chance. All right, the Patriots fly all the way to the West Coast to take on the 49ers.
Just to get their face punched in
San
and then go
Francisco's
home.
10-point favorites.
Yeah, they lose. The San Francisco, I'm going San
Yeah,
Francisco.
I don't see the Patriots pulling off another upset. They're still not good. Then we have the 1-2 Browns going to the 1-2 Raiders. The Raiders are 1-point favorites in this, with a total score of 37.5,
The,
37 and a half
Bra-
points.
the Browns did not look good.
No,
They didn't look good. Las Vegas didn't look good either.
no.
This one's probably one of the tougher ones I'm
It's
gonna have
it's as
to
close
pick.
to a pick 'em as you can get with a 1-point spread.
Not Khalil Mack. Garrett, Miles Garrett, and then you have Crosby.
Miles Garrett got hurt this last weekend.
He did, and Crosby did not look good.
He hasn't
last
looked
week.
good all year.
So.
Ever since he posed for a picture with one certain individual who will go nameless.
Oh man, I want to say I'm not rooting for massages. We're going Las Vegas.
Yeah, me too. I can't.
You did.
I was hoping for an indictment. It didn't come through. The 3-0 Kansas City Chiefs go to the 2-1 Chargers. Kansas City's 8.5-point favorites.
Yeah, with Joe Alt being out with that sprained MCL, it's going to be a tee-off show.
Well, they're down two starting tackles, left and right, and probably a Herbert as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen this.
What?
Your boy Quentin is out here balling.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him. He must have got new gloves or something like that.
Balling.
Yeah, he's catching passes now. Who knew? Not me. Then we have Sunday night. The Bills are back in prime time. They're in Baltimore. The 3-0 Bills versus the 1-2 Ravens. Baltimore are 2.5-point favorites.
Man, I want to say Baltimore only because I just feel it's going to be a shootout, and I don't know if Baltimore has the weapons for a shootout. Their lack of wide receiver,
And
still.
the Bills are the Bills are lacking at wide receiver too, lacking big names. Khalil Shakir has been very good so far. Curtis Samuel's been very good so far. I don't know. Who are you taking?
I'm taking Buffalo.
I am as well. This is one of my few dogs this week. After watching Buffalo yesterday, they're just like a buzzsaw. I just I think the Ravens are very good.
Ravens are good, and I don't want to see the Ravens go 1-3.
I think the Ravens have been struggling, and they're hitting a Bills team that is just like clicking right now.
I just don't. If the Buffalo scores 28 points, do I think the Baltimore can? They want to run the ball. They're going to be, which means it's going to be slower. Mm-hmm. They don't have the wide receivers to get open downfield. So you're really going to ask Lamar to do a lot of heavy lifting.
It's going to be the Lamar to Zay Flowers. Do you know Mark Andrews had 0 catches in that game?
Mm-hmm.
I have him on.
Isaiah Likely didn't have many either.
I'm like, what are we doing here? I had to Google, is Mark Andrews hurt?
They just haven't.
Nope.
Yeah, the time.
They just didn't throw it to him. They haven't thrown to him all year.
They haven't thrown a lot. Like you just like I said, they want to be a very run heavy team, and if you're down, it's going to be difficult.
If they're down, they're going to have to throw. And Lamar's a good passer.
He's a good passer. I just don't know to whom.
Zay Flowers. Rashad Bateman, I guess.
Rashad Bateman is probably his best.
He's having a nice season so far. He's like figuring stuff out.
They just seem to be throwing Zay Flowers screen passes, and he's nothing deep downfield.
Zay Flower end arounds. Yeah.
Yes, that's all we're getting, and I'm not happy because I've got Zay Flowers in a few leagues.
Now we have the doubleheader Monday night again for I don't know what reason, but we have it.
And only one of those games are good.
And I think it's questionable whether it's good or not.
You
First
don't think?
first game, we have the Titans going to Miami in the evening. The 0-3 Titans versus the 1-2 Dolphins. The Miami is a 1-point favorite, only because they're at home. I think.
I don't know who their quarterback
I
is.
don't know how they win. It's gonna have to be Achan.
Yeah.
And he has to throw to Waddle. I need him to throw to Waddle.
I I don't know who the quarterback is.
Yeah, I have
Like
no idea.
they had a guy named, was it Boyle? I was like, who are you? I didn't know.
Yeah, Danny Boyle, the director of Train Spotting. Uh,
So but with that said, kind of still gotta pick Miami.
oh, you're gonna pick Miami.
Yeah.
So I'm
Let's give ending the rounds to Hill all day.
I'm taking the Will Levises here, and I think this will be the game where either Will Levis will win it for him, or he'll lose it again. And I think it might be like we're getting tired of Will Levis.
Oh, so this is his last game?
It might be.
Either his coming out game or his
He
last
doesn't
game.
have to come out. He just has to score more than the quarterbackless Dolphins. Like the Dolphins have no quarterbacks. I guess I could just run end rounds constantly. Tyreek Hill to Waddle and do like double reverses and stuff like that, just constantly.
Between Achan and just Hill.
Could you imagine if they ran like a weave of like a basketball weave down the field where they're just constantly handing off to one another? That'd be fun. I pick up the Titans, even though they're dogs. I just don't know how the Dolphins win without Tua. I just don't know. And then the last Monday night game is the Detroit Lions host the Seattle Seahawks, the 3-0 Seahawks. Detroit is 3.5-point favorites in this game, and they're expecting a high score and 47.5-point total.
I'm going Seattle. Until the words came out of my mouth, it was going to be Detroit, but then Seattle. I like their wide receivers. I like the running back. I like the defense that they play.
Yeah.
I like the players that they have.
Yep.
I like that Seattle team. Their biggest thing was I did not know what their head coach was going to be.
Yeah.
After years of Pete Carroll, I thought they're good.
I know. They are good. I like the Seahawks, but I have to take chalk. I'm going Lions. And you want to know why the Lions are going to lose? Not just because I picked them. They're running out their all black uniforms on Monday night. Why do they have black uniforms? They're the Detroit Lions. They're silver and powder blue.
And powder blue.
Like silver, powder blue, and white. That's their color scheme. There's never been black. I don't think there's ever been black on any of their stuff. So they're running out all black uniforms. So they will probably lose. And I also picked them. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of the 2 Monday night games.
No, I'm not either.
But
Not either.
it's good when one's terrible, I guess. If one's terrible and one's good, then I guess you're breaking even. But just have one good one.
That works for me.
Amazon's going to start having 2 Thursday night games because they're usually pretty bad. So
this should be a good Thursday night game. They started off pretty good this year.
yeah, that's true.
It was the Jets Patriots. That's not a very good game, but it was decent. Then the first one was the Chiefs and somebody. So
I got
Ravens. Chiefs Ravens was the first game, so that was a good one.
That's true. That was a good game. All right.
So this is the question I have.
Okay,
to
ask it.
All right. So I remember how the excitement that you had for your Bears end of the season, redraft, draft, mini camp, preseason.
Yes.
How are you feeling about your team 3 games in?
I'm still excited for the Bears. I think the Bears are fine.
Okay.
I really like this team.
I'm gonna
I just
come
don't
back
like,
and ask you
I don't
the
like
6 games.
I don't like Eberflus. That's my problem. Like, there's nothing about and at the end of the season, I was really excited because I thought they were going to fire Eberflus, but they didn't.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, it is what it is. Like, I love the team, like the people that they have that are constructed to make this team. Like, they're still missing a few pieces. They're not Super Bowl contenders, but they're playoff sniffers, I think. But I think their coaching is so bad that it's tough to overcome that. I'm still excited for him. Boy, I was so angry at the end of that game. and I'm screaming at real time updates on the ESPN app because I can't get a damn I can't even get like pirated feeds to work for me. I did everything I could. I'm screaming like, "What are you fucking doing?" Thank God the kids were all at like Girl Scout stuff because I was screaming. I'm sure the neighbors were across the street like, "What the hell's going on?" I was going nuts. I'm still excited for the team,
Okay.
and yeah, like if you were to tell me like 3 or 4 years ago that this is where the Bears would be right now, I wouldn't have believed you. And I really think the Bears are on the precipice of being a very good team. They just they just don't have the coaching, and I don't think Eberflus is going to be that coach. And their offensive scheme is so strange. I don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's why I have to go conspiracy theory where they're just the baptism by fire. Like, let's get them out there and have them throw 50 games. We're going to have them throw 10 games worth of passes in 4 games just to get them up to speed. And
Get them to speed.
yeah, like I guess that's what they're doing. I'm still excited. I think Caleb Williams is the quarterback of the future for the Bears. I think Roma Dunze is a stud. I think Malik Neighbors is insane too. I think what's crazy is I think all three of those quarterbacks might live up to their
To the hype
to their
that,
pre-draft
yeah,
hype, which is kind of insane.
very insane. Very.
Usually only like one at most does well. It looks like Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Roma Dunze are all as good as built. Now I'm going to say Roma Dunze has had some very rookie moments where it's like it's just like he's done the wrong thing in sometimes.
Hmm.
But this last game he ran nice routes and he made some nice catches.
Yes, he
Uh,
did. Yes, he did. To me, it was the game where he was like, okay, I could do this.
yeah,
He looked comfortable out there.
especially after the
Uh,
previous week where he dropped what should have been a touchdown. It was a 50-50 ball where he jumped over the dude, just bounced off his hands. I'm like, oh, you got to catch that ball. Yeah, got in the end zone. It was Caleb's first touchdown passing. It was Rome's first touchdown receiving. Rome got to keep the
and
ball.
Rome said, I want the ball.
Rome got to keep the
Yep.
ball. So that's good stuff. Like I'm excited for the team. Like I have no reason to not be excited. And like the only thing that'll keep me from not being excited is if like 4 years from now it just all falls apart. It's the White Sox, and I can't do that.
I, I just remember the level of hype that you had going into the season
Oh yeah.
was a level I had never seen from
I
you,
know that was
Derek.
probably the most optimistic I've been about Chicago sports in a long time.
And after the week one, the way that first game started, I was like, "Oh no,
That was
this is
that
not
was a dose of reality. That was like okay, Derek, you're
taper your expectations."
you are one of the most pessimistic fans on the face of the earth. Just be reasonable. Don't be pessimistic. There's nothing to be pessimistic about, right?
Uh-huh.
Caleb went out and threw for 360 yards and 2 touchdowns this last week. There's not like there hasn't been a Bears quarterback that's thrown for that much, and I can't remember last time. It was probably Andy Dalton, to be honest, which is insane, right? And as much as I love Justin Fields, and I hope he is succeeding in Seattle for the Steelers, and I hope he continues to, like this is where we're at, and like there's nothing that Caleb has done from a professional quarterback standpoint that has made me
Make you
doubt
lose your faith.
him being a professional quarterback. Especially this last game where he had to throw 52 times. He spread it all around the field. He made some very difficult throws. He made some difficult throws that were called back because of motherfucking holding calls. The offensive line is going to be the doom of this team until they figure out how to block. Like they're worse than they were last year. Oh, All right, it's still there. I do have to show you this because it made me laugh, and it's right above another meme here. But the Panthers fan delusions crack me up. Carolina Panthers and Pittsburgh Steelers fleecing the Chicago Bears. That's where that's where they handshake at. I don't. There's not a timeline in a multiverse where the Carolina Panthers
Leasing?
won the trade.
What trade are they talking about?
I believe they're talking about the DJ Moore, Caleb Williams trade because that's what it ended up being for Bryce Young, and that trade has still not been finalized because they still have Carolina's second round pick this year coming up. So there's no fleece involved there.
There's a fleece, but it's just the other way.
Yes. Now the Steelers were fortunate in getting What's gonna end up being a fourth round pick for Justin Fields.
Oh yeah, it's a fourth round because he's going to start most of the games.
He's gonna get the 51. I mean that's I hope he succeeds because that 51% gets the Bears a fourth round pick. That's what I'm
Yeah.
hoping for. And hopefully the Bears can use that fourth round pick to get an offensive lineman somewhere. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the non-football thing I saw today that I figured I'd share, it's from Adam Sandler.
Okay.
They're in the works. They're making Billy Madison 2.
Why? Why? He's making Happy Gilmore too.
They're
Why?
making Billy Madison 2. Oh no, it is Happy Gilmore 2. I read it wrong.
Okay. Okay, good. I was like, no, not Billy Madison too
I
as
love
well.
it is Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay,
I
okay.
now here's the thing. I'm a little less excited because I really love Billy Madison.
But what was he gonna do? Billy Madison was based on him not passing
I know.
all his grades. Did we what we saw him pass them again? He failed them. It was another.
Maybe.
Now he has to learn the new math. Oh, that might be funny.
I gotta block everything into tens. This is killing me.
60 years old, 60-year-old man trying to learn. Okay, I can see how that could be funny.
I know I love Happy Gilmore as well. Billy Madison has a real soft spot in my soul for that. That movie was so stupid. It was one of the dumbest movies to ever exist. But every joke was like written for me. Like I felt like the like like the the shampoo and the conditioner fighting in the bathtub, and then telling the swan to shut up, the penguin. Everything about that movie was written specifically to me and my sense of humor at the age of 20.
Oh, I can see it.
But yes, Happy Gilmore 2, I don't know, his grandma's long dead, and Chubbs is long dead, so I don't know what he does
Not
now.
long. He just died. He just well, in the TV in the movie he was long.
He's
dead.
long dead, and he just died too. So maybe Happy Gilmore is the Chubbs role, and there's going to
And it's
be
someone new.
another golfer that is from a different sport. We'll
Do you know how it got broken? Right, that Happy Gilmore 2 is coming out.
no.
Shooter McGavin, the guy who plays Shooter
Oh.
McGavin, spoiled it before everyone. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just chilling with Adam Sandler, we're working on a new movie." I was like,
What?
it was like Happy Gilmore 2. He was like, "Oh, I might have said too much."
The
I
thing
might have
about
said too
Shooter McGavin, that actor that cracks me up, is when he got pulled over for drunk driving in Florida. Do you know what his defense was?
No.
Do you know who I am? I'm Shooter McGavin.
This all in defense because if you said his real name, no one would have.
Yeah, I'm Shooter McGavin. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast?
Oh, Shooter.
Yeah, Happy Gilmore 2.
Okay.
And I was
good. I couldn't take it. I was like, I was about to yell, who keeps paying Adam Sandler to make these movies? We all know it's Netflix.
Yeah.
We all know who
Netflix gives him a lot of money. You know, and what's funny is his stand-up specials that he has on Netflix aren't too bad.
They're not? Okay.
No, I mean, they're just, hey, here's another song, and here's a little story, and here's a song, and here's a song, and here's a story, and the songs are funny. I don't know, he's just still Adam Sandler.
Okay.
He's the Sandman. I recommend watching that one because then he's got the touching ending for he sings Lunch Lady Land for Chris Farley or what. Oh no, he sings a song specifically about Chris Farley to commemorate his death or whatever, right? So, yeah, it's good stuff. Adam Sandler. It's not bad. I recommend it.
Yeah, just don't watch any of his movies.
No, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. What's the last Sandler movie you watched? Uncut Gems is the last one I saw. But I don't call that a Sandler movie.
It's not a Sandler movie.
Have you seen Uncut Gems?
No. I heard it was good.
Yeah, you should watch it.
I heard it was good. Yeah.
You should watch it. There's nothing good.
Adam Sandler about.
Well, there's nothing good or happy or positive about that movie in any way.
It's not a movie I like to watch.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. It is it's another one of those movies that speaks a little bit to my soul at times. It is
I know.
depressing. It is like,
I
what are
know.
we doing? It is very anxiety riddled. It is, yeah.
Oh, that's not the type of movie I
It is
like.
a movie full of bad choices.
Mhm.
And Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, as Kevin Garnett. The Celtics basketball player, Kevin Garnett. Yes. It's worth watching.
Okay.
It is very good. And when it
All
ends,
right.
you're like, oh, fuck.
I don't like the movies like
Oh,
that.
yeah. You have to watch it now. You have to watch it now. Because it's one of those movies where you think it's something, you think, is a movie that's been dire and dour and depressing for the last, I don't know, 120 minutes going to end with a positive note? We'll find out. I don't want to spoil it. It's a good movie. It's intense.
Oh man.
Adam
Before we
Sandler plays a
go.
degenerate gambler in that movie.
Oh, I need to see this. Told me it was a good game. It doesn't look like it
Oh,
was.
the Mets?
I'm trying to find it. The last I saw, they were down 5-0, and that's
Oh,
not a good sign.
never.
They
Oh.
lost 1-5. Not good. All right.
Now, well, here's the
Not good.
question. Did the White Sox win?
Oh, do you want to know that? Oh, well, you might have guessed it by my. They did.
Really?
Yes, they did. 3-2. I need
Wow.
to.
Ready for this?
That.
The White Sox were previously today 0-94 when trailing in the seventh or later this season. 0-94 when trailing in the seventh or later.
That means they've trailed in the seventh pretty much more than half.
94 times. 95, including tonight. They're 1-94 now
1-94.
when trailing after 7. Will they win out to avoid losing 121 games? The correct answer is no. They will not.
I gotta. Being a Mets fan, I have to hope that someone else beats our record. But to our defense, I'm pretty sure in '62 we were an expansion team.
Yes. And you only played
So
160 games in that year, too. So he
to
went 40 and 120 in that season.
120.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the White Sox will win 40 games.
They got 39, I think.
Mm,
That might have been 40 today.
no.
Or was it 36 games?
The White Sox have now won 37 games.
37 games.
They have 5 games left. I don't think they'll win 40. And
That's gonna be tough.
still, the best they can do is have the 10th pick in the draft. I don't know why you had to bring up baseball at the end here.
I just had to look at my team to see because we're trying to clinch it and we didn't do well. But the Diamondbacks losing was a good time today. They're down 10-0 in the 8th inning, so they better not come back. I'll just say that.
Yeah. Well, who knows? They probably will. Just to spite you now because you brought up baseball and had me look at the White Sox.
I wasn't gonna look them up. You brought it up.
No, no.